Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Female voice.
Welcome to hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. All things said in today's show are alleged and for entertainment and educational purposes only. If you are below the age of 18, we request that you leave the live now. Enjoy.
Great to be back. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. I missed y'all. I missed y'all. I've been really, extremely busy. And I apologize to you all for not being on more and having our normal morning meetings. But we're back to work. Let's get started. And before we start, I want to open up this way. As you, I'm pretty sure, have heard, Malcolm Jamal Warner has passed away, affectionately known to us, people my age, as Theo Huxtable. I think it's safe to say that we all lost a family member yesterday. It feels like we lost a family member because, I mean, our childhood was based, like, we grew up with him, watching him, you know, on the Cosby Show. And so his loss, I think it's safe to say, is felt by many people. So if you will, let's have a moment of silence for the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. All right, thank you all. And let's make sure we keep keep his family in our thoughts and prayers. Natty said, "Welcome back, hey bestie. I missed y'all so much. I did, I really did. Thank you for that heart me. I appreciate that, Natty. Thank you, love. Oh, did you get my message? I messaged you back. Let me know if you got that or not." Natty said, I was getting ready to form a search party. I know, I've been extremely busy. I mean, extremely busy. Filming the scene Saturday, and then Sunday was kind of just like a recharging day. And then yesterday I had a lot to do, and things to take care of. So I'm back, bestie. I'm back. You haven't? Okay, I'm gonna have to track that down. I'm gonna have to track it down, see if I can track it down, see what's going on, because you're supposed to have gotten it on Saturday. And thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. And let's give it up to Natty, because Natty just got the #1 gifter badge. And let's congratulate Natty because she just lit up the TikTok gift in the gift gallery. Thank you, bestie. Jess Ann, good morning. Good morning, bestie. Thank you for those heart me. Thank you for the finger hearts. Thank you for the friendship necklace. And thank you for the perfume. And also, let's give it up for Natty because she just lit up the perfume gift in the gift gallery. Jessica, my homie, my bestie, Jessica. Thank you for the heart me and welcome in. Howdy, Natty. Thank you for the hat and mustache, Natty. Man, I'm feeling the love. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for those hand hearts, Natty. Love it, love it. Thank you. And let's give it up to Natty. It says she lit up all gifts in the gift gallery. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Natty. Never seen that done before. Oh, and the light up hearts. I love it. Never seen that before. Thank you. Jessica White, thank you for the heart puff. I appreciate that. How are things going up your way? You doing good? I pray all is well with all of you. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I told you all I was busy, right? And so I really hadn't been keeping an eye on things that's going on, right? So today we are just basically going to hear things that's happening together and we'll just react in real time, right? Because I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it. Let's get up to Jessica. Jessica just got the number 2 gifter badge. Thank you, Jessica. Natty, thank you for the Go Popular. And let's give it up to Natty because she just leveled up to Sparks 1 and and reached fan level number 21 in the fan club. Let's give it up. That's that support. Papa Doc, thank you for sharing out the live. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Tap and clap, people. Share if you care. Gift and uplift, and let's have some fun. Well, let's drink some tea. Let's sip some tea and find out what's going on. Jessica White, thank you for sharing out the live. That's my homie. I appreciate it. Natty, love those special stickers. Love the special stickers. I'm about to pin that if you don't mind. We are going to pin that. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. I'm going to jump right in. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with stuff, but we just going to talk about it as it go. Adrian, the bestie Adrian, is in the house. Thank you for the heart me, Adrian. I appreciate that. We got Adrian in the newsroom. We ready to get it. All right, this says Puffy Jacket can't be serious. Suing for 50 mil. Now, I didn't even hear this name nowhere in a trial or anything like that, but it says Tyson Beckford. Some of us may not remember who Tyson Beckford is, so I'm going to let you know. He was a model. And I think he still does it, but I'm not sure. But he was a model known for modeling. Tyson Beckford says he could have saved, and saved is capitalized. He could have saved, so there's heavy emphasis on that save. When you got to save somebody, that means there's some things going on, right? There's some things going on. And it says he could have saved victims from Puffy Jacket. That's never good. Bestie in the newsroom. Shout out to Jenny. Hey, Jenny, come on, Bestie, talk to me. What we doing? We barbecuing or we meal doing? You going live today for your first time? Come on, Bestie. Jenny, thank you for the special stickers. I'm going to pin your comment. What we got, Bestie? Talk to us. Because you know, you go live, we coming over there to support you too on your channel. You know, we all we got or we all we not. And your boy need a shave. So I'll be doing that after the show. All right, but let's get right into it. Let's find out, because you know, word on the curb is that he spent a lot of money. Puffy Jacket spent a lot of money when it came to his trial and his defense team. That's word on the curb. I don't know his. I don't know my. I'm about to say my man's. He is not my man. Let's get that. We two totally different people. But I don't know what his pockets look like. But word on the curb is he spent a lot of money. So that could be why he's like, okay, I need to recoup my money, so I'm gonna start filing lawsuits on people. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, if what they're saying is true, if the word on the curb is true, and that amount that's on the curb that he allegedly spent on the defense team is true, yeah, suing people would be definitely what he needs to be doing. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, allegedly. Allegedly. All things are alleged, remember. Some things are not. So, shout out to Tisa Tales. And what we're about to do is just listen to some audio. She's covering the story from about Tyson Beckford. Again, for those that's just coming in, welcome to hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. We haven't started the first segment just yet. We're about to get into it. And this is from Tisa Tales. And and the title is Puffy Jacket. And it's not Puffy Jacket. That's just the name that we use for him. That's right, Jenny. $810 million. $810 million. Let me let some people in on just a little bit of secret that shouldn't be a secret, that should be just, I don't know, common sense. But let me put it to you this way. For anybody to spend $810 million on legal representation, that screams guilty to me. I'm just saying. 810, when you've got to spend $810 million on a defense team, you have done some things that are detrimental, highly detrimental. But I digress. So we're going to get into the first segment. Like I said, shout out to Tisa Tales. And it says, Puffy Jacket can't be serious. Suing for $50 million. Tyson Beckford says he could have saved, and like I told you before, I say it again, it's saved, it's capitalized, so that means it's heavy emphasis on saved. He could have saved victims from Puffy Jacket. Let's get it.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, Ariel Mitchell's looking at you saying, baby, you're not suing me for $50 million. Your reputation has been ruined and will continue to be ruined. On top of that, Tyson Beckford, yes, that Tyson Beckford, is letting us know that he could have been the superhero we didn't know we needed back in the 90s because he was about to take Diddy off this earth. And, baby, that was a canon moment. That was a canon moment. Let's get into this, okay? First of all, let's talk about Diddy. The way Diddy is out here suing people. I think Diddy feels like he's going to get all his
sharing the
lawyers
live,
fees
Bessie.
back
I appreciate
by
it.
suing everybody. I'm sure
you all,
he's looking for a way to sue the federal
got the
government.
audio?
It will
Is it
not
clear?
work. Get this, okay?
Just put a 1 in the live if it's clear.
Diddy's lawyer, listen, Diddy is suing $50 million.
All right.
He's suing
Thank you,
for $50 million, saying that a lawyer suing him for alleged freak-offs ruined his reputation. Now, can I just say this? And it needs to be said, if there's any kiddies or old people or grannies in the room, please have them cover your ears and go outside. How can a man that admitted that he would dress up in a burqa from the face up?
Dave's Field Communications are all over.
Okay. We popping in the commercials early. It's all right. It's okay. We'll get to work.
Booty butt naked from the face down. Dressed up as a burqa. Sit in the corner diddling himself.
Who's that? Jenny says he's going to need that come up
ran on whatever
quick.
woman he tricked into
Puffy
thinking
Jacket.
was his girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Okay?
810 mil.
And in the middle of that, he would make them
got
stop,
the hustle.
hold positions for hours while he diddled, make them stop, usually lay hands on and feet say I need to talk to you a second because you need to exert your control and show your masculinity. I guess there's nothing more masculine than hiding in the corner under a burqa naked. Okay, fine. And then drag the woman into the room, sometimes laying hands and feet on her, then proceed to take the sloppy seconds, if you will. And then when that was over, but before he took the sloppy seconds, he would grab make the woman grab what was ever inside the liquids that the Smex worker left, and rub it on his.
Remember, if you are below the age of 18, you are supposed to be bye-bye, right? So I have no control over what's being stated. We all supposed to be adults in here because we put out the disclaimer at the beginning of the show. If you are below the age of 18, you're supposed to be gone. So if your kids are around you, and I got something right here. Okay. If the kids are around you, I apologize. Widow Love 33, welcome in, baby. How you doing? Widow Love 33 clocking in into the newsroom to put in that work. If you got kids around you, I apologize. We put that disclaimer out in the beginning. So here we go.
Diddy's chesticles. Again, I have to stop now before I get my whole channel demonetized. But I think what I am trying to say is, Diddy, what reputation is what I'm trying to say, but let's get into this, all right?
Facts. He probably should have invested in J&J.
Diddy, you can try this with Janice Combs.
That's a good marketing idea.
Out of my face. Let's get this, all right? They're saying that Ariel Mitchell asked a judge to dismiss Diddy's $50 million lawsuit, citing the federal seizure of alleged tapes as validation. They said Diddy is facing a new legal hurdle in his $50 million defamation lawsuit after Miami-based attorney Ariel Mitchell asked a federal judge to dismiss the case. Ariel, who appeared on News Nation segment with Courtney Burgess, is accused by Diddy of helping spread what Diddy calls outrageous lies about his alleged involvement in Smex crimes.
Hold on. Hey, isn't Courtney Burgess, isn't that the guy who released the tape? I mean, the jump drive of Kim Porter? Am I right? Didn't he have an attorney? Am I right? Jenny says you think Faith took that money to help Puffy Jacket? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Look, Bessie, I don't trust Faith at all. In fact, I got the opposite of what her name says in her. I have no faith in her. She's been lying since the 90s and hadn't nothing changed but the date on the calendar. Okay, yeah, so Courtney Burgess. Okay, all right. I thought that was his name, but I wasn't sure.
The lawsuit filed in January
tailed
also
out. We
names
didn't hear
Courtney
much about
Burgess
him
and Nexstar Media, owner of News Nation, as co-defendants. Diddy thinks he's going to get all his legal fees back by suing these people. Burgess said during an interview that he received 11 flash drives from the late Kim Porter, which he said contained videos of celebrities participating in freak-offs involving minors.
Oh, you know something else though, Bestie? Faith might have did that with that money because she may have known or got some kind of intel that her son was about to have a lawsuit filed against him as well.
He also said he had 54 pages from Porter's memoirs, which Porter's kids said were fake. Now, I do want to point out that even though the kids said, but seriously, is anybody going to ask, how are you suing for Kim's diary intellectual property when you're saying it doesn't exist? Then you're saying it wasn't really a book. It
Widow
might have been
Love
notes.
33,
anyway, we'll
thank you for that heart, me.
This, okay? He says he has 54 pages.
Now, I'm about to say something, and some people it's going to make mad, maybe ruffle a little feathers, but the similarities, the comparison is on point. Just follow me through here. You know, she just stated that, and she brought up a good point. How is Puffy Jacket going to sue? Jenny, thank you for the heart, me bestie. But I'm going to say it. That's right, Natty. That's right, Natty. You know it. It's going to ruffle feathers, but that's what we do. Hashtag, I'm going to say it. Now, if Kim Porter's flash drive or jump drive or whatever you call that contained all the information. Oh, first of all, let's give it up to Adrian because she just got the number 3 gifter badge. Let's give it up for her. Thank you for that support. I appreciate it, bestie. But let's just think about it. Now, how could you sue for something, the flash drive, the jump drive, whatever, that's supposed to be Kim Porter's? How could you sue for that if you're saying that it wasn't true? Remember, they said that was fake. It wasn't her jump drive and all that. Remember? So how could you sue for that? Daybreak 76, good day to you. Welcome to the newsroom. How you doing today? Deb, I see you, bestie. How you feeling? Which takes me back to someone else, or I want to compare that to someone else. How can you say that the list is fake, but then you don't want to put out, let me start over. You don't want to put out the list, but then you say the list is fake. El Uno, how's it going? 215, that 215, that's my Philly Connect. How y'all doing? How you doing? If you're saying that the list doesn't exist now, but now you saying it could be put out if it's credible or whatever, which one? We can't have both. We can't have both. Puffy Jacket, either it's a lie and what was in that book that allegedly came from the jump drive of Kim Porter, allegedly the words in the book are false and not real, or they are, and that's why you're suing to try to get that jump drive back. I mean, come on, it can't be both. Jeannie says this bait and switch. Exactly. Like, you can't have it both ways. So now if you're suing for it, it must means it's true. Same as the Cheetolini with the list. I'm not going to get into that. We don't even need a list. We don't even need a list. We already know. Okay? I got to get... Hey, I'm going to bring guests up at the end, El Uno, okay? So sit tight. Ride with me, and I'm going to bring you up, brother. I'm going to leave you right there, but I'm going to bring you up.
54 pages could have been printed out from anywhere. Aria's attorney, Stephen A. Metcalf, argued that her appearance on the program did not include any defamatory statements, and her role as an attorney shields her from liability. They said in addition to performing her role as an attorney for matters involving the preparation of litigation or for pending litigation such as vicarious attributions concerning defendant Mitchell violate First Amendment principles. Okay, yeah, they're doing the Alex Burrow thing where they're starting to sue lawyers for representing people because they realize they can't stop everybody from suing, so they're going to try to scare lawyers against from representing people. Again, I'm confused, Diddy, how this helped you. I don't know.
None of it makes sense.
They said Mitchell cannot be said to have acted with reckless disregard for the truth. Photos and videos were produced, leading to a federal subpoena on this specific material. And the government or members of the Southern District acted in a manner to take possession of said materials, and thus the government essentially vouched for its existence of said materials. Diddy has denied all allegations, this, that, and the third. Anyway, they also said that Ariel Mitchell's lawyer said that there was no way she could defame Diddy, given the salacious and wild testimony produced by several witnesses during Diddy's trial. And we all know that's true. They said the evidence elicited at trial was extreme to the point where any living person's reputation would be affected from such. While I salute his criminal defense team, the fact relevant here is there are countless other individuals with actual sexual allegations against Diddy, where the statement Ariel Mitchell made pales in comparison. Y'all.
Listen, we said it's not over. And we also said there's more things that he didn't get charged for that he could have been charged for, right? And I think that reigns true. Hey, El Uno, when I said I'm gonna bring you up after this first segment, not at the end. All right, we got 4 segments. So after the end of the first segment, I'm gonna bring you up, so you ain't gotta wait so long. Okay. I just want to clarify with you.
Oh, listen, 100%. But really quick, I don't want to hold y'all, but listen, couple of things. Diddy, shut up. Shut up and go make some beats with Kanye. I get it. But the fact that Diddy was found not guilty does not mean he's innocent.
That part.
And the fact that Diddy got convicted of 2 federal SMEX charges, I think proves a lot. Anyway, we'll talk about this on live tomorrow. Your girl is back to work this week, but let me just say this, okay? One person that could have saved us from all this trouble is Tyson Beckford. If you guys don't know, Tyson Beckford is an OG. He was
pocket's getting really low.
He was an OG supermodel, as you guys know. He also was one of, allegedly, the members of one of the most notorious Jamaican street gangs in New York in the 90s. And baby, he has stories to tell. I'm waiting for him to get a Netflix deal or write a book or do something. But honestly, listen to this story. Because this is the man that Diddy, this is a story about a man named Diddy that is suing people for his reputation being ruined. You mean your fantasy, who we thought you were? We thought you were Cliff Huxtable and found out you was really Bill Cosby. Anyway, listen to this story.
She said it. I didn't. That's her point of view.
I want to tell a story about how we got into it in the street, and it's a real street story.
What happened?
I was standing in front of the tattoo parlor talking to a friend of mine, which I thought was my friend, and Groovy Lou pulled up with some girl, because you know that back then Bad Boy used to be around the corner from 5th and 19th or 20th Street, somewhere around there. So you know, I'm minding my business. Bestie. He come up with this girl and is like, yo,
Hey, Jenny says the fact that people are acting like those charges are not too bad. Exactly. They think that's a victory just because he got those 2, because they were the lesser of the charges, but they're still a big deal. And she said Jenny said she ain't lying though about the comment. Thought he was I forgot who she said, but yeah, he ended up being Bill Cosby. Yeah, that I mean, listen, I'm not saying she wrong. I'm just saying it's her words. It's her words, you know. I'm not saying I disagree with her at all.
Take a picture with my friend. I say, yo, my man, I'm having a conversation. He was like, what you mean? And started getting tough with me. I said, yo, Lou, don't talk to me like that. Come on, we boys. And he was like, nah, I'll talk to you whatever. I was like, nah, bro, this ain't happening. So then he swung on me. And yes. And I went back like this. I looked at my friend. Oh, no, he didn't. So we got to fighting. And I got to beating the brakes off that man. And then a NYPD officer came by on a motorcycle, and we stopped. If you look, I got a slice right here. So that's why I got that. I got 6 stitches in the top of my head because I ran him into the wall, and then my head also hit the wall. So blood's coming down my face. I have on a wife beater, a tank top, for those who don't know. So I put it on there, you know, the bleeding, you know, stop the bleeding. And the cop says, what's going on? We both were like, yeah, nothing. So he left. And then I went to go after Lou again. Lou ran around the corner. We didn't know where he went. He went upstairs to Bad Boy and brought down Puff and some other goons, maybe about 5, 6 people. So my homeboy, Wes, which we're not friends anymore, he dipped on me. So they start coming at me, and Puff started talking junk or whatever, and I'm backing up. I'm like, yo, my man, I don't want this. Y'all don't want this. So my Land Cruiser was on 6th Avenue or something. This was before 9/11. Mossberg in the back, which, you know, trust me, I know why I needed it. So I went to the back, opened the Land Cruiser, cocked it. I said, look, I only got 5 in here. Puff, you gonna get it first, and Big Man, you gonna get it first. The rest of y'all, I'm gonna shower you with it. So that was, you know, the gist of the whole story. And then Puff went and called my manager, and he was like, yo, Ma, your boy wild. She said, yo, he's Jamaican. You leave him alone. He will done you.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, I could have saved the world a whole lot of trouble and just took him out back then, but then where would I be?
So y'all haven't made up, really?
Yana, we rest our case. We rest our case.
All right. All right, that concludes the first segment. I would like to hear more of that story. I never heard of it before. I'd like to hear more of it. Let me catch some comments, and then we're going to bring El Uno. El Uno says they
If
really
an app
aren't.
was built on an AI
sorry, y'all. Hold
code
on.
platform, but no one
My bad. Let's go to. It's going to be the second segment. Go ahead and set that up. All right. He said they really aren't a big deal comparatively to what he beat and the time he's already served the trial, and that's why I said they're the lesser of the charges. However, still, aren't charges that can be joked about or played with. You see what I'm saying? But I'm about to bring you up so we can talk about that. Tyson. Oh, Jenny said Tyson was every lady's dream man. Well, at least mine. I feel you. Okay. Well, now let me ask you. Hold on, Bessie. So was Tyson Beckford or Tyrese? Because it was kind of like the same thing. Oh, that's neat. I love you. Thank you, Jenny, for the love you. I love you. Thank you. I never had that before. Daybreak. It says how he accidentally ran into the wall himself. Yeah, I caught that. Look, I don't, unless they might have stumbled or something, I don't know. Just Ann says he basically said I could have stopped him, but needed the stepping stone. Crazy. I got what you're saying, and I can see that. Jenny said Tyson. Natty said Tyrese was my second husband. Y'all are crazy. Natty, he had you hooked from the Coca-Cola commercial? Let's bring my man's pot and pans up. Let's see. I think it should be bringing you up. There you go. How's it going, brother? Grand Rising.
Hey, good morning, my good brother. Good morning. Good morning, everybody in the comments.
How things going your way?
We making it the best way we can with what we got. We're not complaining about what we don't, right?
I feel you on that. You right.
Absolutely.
What's your take on that first egg?
Okay, well, the first one, he beat, like you said, the charges aren't nothing necessarily to sneeze at, but realistically, we have to be honest on what he was convicted of, which is basically transportation for prostitution, which is tantamount to you just got caught telling somebody, hey, to cross a bridge, and I got you. All right. Mm-hmm. Men have done it. Lesser prosecuted women have done it. You are old enough to remember the madams of the late 90s, early 80s, stuff like that, with their little black books. A lot of people aren't. That's why it doesn't surprise people like me and you, right? He got convicted for it. Right. It's just now the reason why I said they are lesser and that they kind of are like throwing rocks into a stone quarry charges when you look at what he beat is because he's already served. He's been locked up for damn near 2 years?
Is
a little under 2.
Little under 2.
Let's say a little under 2, right? The charges themselves, the maximum is what?
It was 10 or 20
it was
combined.
10. Well, 10 or 20 combined for each count, like 5, like a nickel a piece, something like that, or 10 each, either or. But they don't carry the weight of him being, because there's no violence involved in it. It's just you paid, and it's illegal to pay for that. There's no violence involved in it. Now, I understand why a lot of people, they latch on to it. They want him to be convicted. And in some cases, yeah, I can understand people feeling that way about, hey, just because he's not convicted doesn't mean he's guilty. And some aspects of that. But there's other aspects of it as, hey, if you're not convicted of something, and they actually had the best chance to put their best foot forward, then what are you guilty of? Is he guilty of being a horrible human being? Absolutely. All right. Should he have gone to jail for going upside our head? Sure. The sun is also hot. He should have gone to jail for that, but he didn't. The charges that he got convicted for, he's actually, like I said, when you work out the sentencing guidelines, which are all subjective, which the judge does not have to follow. You add that in with what the crime he actually was convicted for, he's likely to get like what? 1 in 3, like 3 sentences to 3 years, which is really a camp. Yeah. Since there's no violence involved, he does another year. That's 2 time served. He'll probably be locked up for like another 6 months to a year, and then do the rest on probation.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you. And what I'm gonna be, in fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. If they don't get these charges, there's still lawsuits coming out against them or whatnot. So if those don't stick, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, brother. I think he'll just get time served, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because there's a whole group of people amongst his, crowd or crew that do the same thing, and I'm talking about CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I'm talking about other celebrities. I mean, we're slowly. We knew already, but it's coming out even more that people of that financial bracket, I'm just gonna put it like that, they partake in the same things.
Here's my question, right? Because from my experience, right, and even you, with your former wrestling background, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the groupies.
Right.
Some of them are great. Some of them are great marks, and they'll eat whatever up you give them. And other ones you just got paid to do it. I'm saying that to say this. I've known people not even in that tax bracket to finance what he got convicted for. Right? So, also, who was it? Boosie said the same thing. Oh man, the whole game to change. Because all of them do it. Quiet as it's kept. Ladies too. The ladies do it too. Right?
That's facts. That's facts.
Just the men that do it, that is on the receiving end of said funds, are just a lot more professional about how to carry themselves. They quiet. Right? They're not looking to transfer that to something else because it's supposed to be a private thing.
Right.
My fear is, and I'm down with like some of the conspiracy theories and some of the yapping podcasts to a degree, is that people gotta have to understand what these lawsuits consist of. They are not federal. They are not even state charges. These are all civil trials. So they are all looking for a monetary gain. They are all looking for a monetary gain, and people have to keep that in mind when people are looking at these things for monetary gain. Now, was Puff a dangerous dude? He could be in some aspects. I might even hold that.
Thank you for the club. Cheers.
But could he reach out to somebody realistically? He had the brain to do some things. But now you want to charge. I just kind of don't get that. I just kind of don't get that. And the whole thing with the Kim Porter book and flash drive, partially people were saying, well, the girl in the story.
Thank you, be the life of the heart. Me appreciate it.
She said, well, why would you sue to get that flash drive, jump drive, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Well, you have to sue to get it because it's a questioning thing out there, right? So basically, I have to sue to get it because you're saying that this proves a lot of the things that went on, right? That's a way for me to discredit you, right? Basically, I asked this question on another podcast, on another panel podcast, when they were running around here throwing Jay under the bus with the girl from New York. Remember that?
Wait, which girl? Oh, you
The
talking
girl
about?
saying-
Yeah.
the girl-
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with her,
Mhm.
right? And I was saying, well, what I was saying was, a lot of people have a lot of, and I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm not defending anybody, but a lot of people have these outrageous takes on what celebrities do and what people do in general, and then it's like, well, how are you to defend yourself? You're vilified for defending yourself, right? It's just like somebody saying a bunch of stuff that you didn't do, or it's just like somebody saying that how you brought up, how you took care of them, how you looked out for them, how you did all these things for somebody, and then they say that here you are throwing it in their face, when really you're just retelling an accurate recreation of what happened. Right?
You mean like
It's
third
people
party?
being
Like
vilified.
somebody heard it and then they saying it again? Or
Yeah, well, yeah, like somebody say something, me and you, I know that you did something great for somebody consistent, that you never brought it up, you didn't make a big deal about it, yet when you and that person who you looked out for had a falling out about it, the person who you looked out for is now dragging your name. And they're saying you're a horrible person, this, that, and the third. And you say, if I was a horrible person, I wouldn't have did, you wouldn't have did this if you were a horrible person. And you run back to things so they know. And so you can defend your reputation of, hey, if I was such a horrible person, why did I do this for you? Why did I do that for you? And then that same person just drag your name and say, see, look, he's doing it again. He's horrible. He's talking about all the things he did for me. And if he really gave a damn, he wouldn't have brought it up.
well,
Meaning just, how does one defend himself?
okay. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions, and then I'll have to
Sure.
drop it down so we can go on and say too. But I appreciate you coming up first and
No
foremost.
problem.
Thank you for that. But I got a couple. I want to
Appreciate
ask you a
you for
couple of questions. Absolutely. I love it. I'm in a similar situation with my second oldest daughter. You see, she goes around, tells her friends or people that she wants to, that she looks to, I guess, to validate her, that her dad doesn't love her. Her dad is just a bad dad. When in actuality, I've been a parent to her. If she's in wrong, I get it, you're my child. I do. But what kind of parent would I be if I sat here and condone your wrong just because I'm your parent? You see what I'm saying? That's not how it go. But see, here's how I defend that. I don't say nothing because I don't have anything to prove, because I know my truth. But see, if I go and I'm going back and forth with her, and I mean, she says some things, brother, that, it'd be easy.
I get it. I know.
You feel me? So,
I got it.
but I don't say anything. Now, that's how I would expect. If it's not true, you see, sometimes it's when you do address a situation, when you know you are innocent, it gives people from the outside a perspective of that you're guilty. You see what I'm saying? Like, the truth is going to come to light. The truth is going to come to light. And then the second part of that I want to ask you, if all of these things that they're saying he's not, and this is really, it's not a right or wrong answer, it's just your perspective on it. Okay?
And we all know some things he is. We just know that.
Yeah, we just
from
know.
the evidence that we got.
Thank you, it's
We
just
know
good.
that. We found that out. That's just what that is.
Right. So, why do you find it a little concerning? I guess I use that word, concerning, that nobody came to his defense. Nobody stepped up and said, hey, that's a good brother. I was with him when this happened, so no, he didn't do that. I was there. I was with whoever, that said he did this. I was there, and I can tell you and verify that it didn't happen. Dr. Rashida, thank you for the love you. I love you, and thank you for the heart me. Welcome to the newsroom. Do you find that, like, because he knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of people, and I'm talking about from coast to coast,
He
country
absolutely
to
does.
country. Right? So do you find that a little, I don't know.
No. And here's why. Because what they are talking about, the context of what he was locked up over, and once again, not saying he shouldn't have went to jail for some of the things
I think
he
he was
did,
just grounds.
right? But it was just the right things he should have went to jail for, not the wrong things. I'm all for getting somebody up out of here, but especially for something they did, not for what we can't prove that they did, right? What he was accused of in these issues, all were private things that happened privately. Remember, everybody was running around saying these big, huge parties like lifestyles and stuff like that, where people were just one big room. Turns out it was 3 people, maybe 4 people, really 3. It was him watching and them 2 doing,
Yeah.
right? So they couldn't come forward it wouldn't make sense for them to come forward to try to defend him when you're like, I wasn't there. You really I wasn't there. No, why? Because there was 3 people in the room. And the 3 people in the room actually testified they were in the room. The ones who got paid to do it, her.
Thank you, Dr. Rashida,
And him.
for the summer sun. Yeah, well, okay, that's
So
that's
that
the
would
freak
make
off
sense.
part. I'm talking about like as far as
Yeah, that's the
Go ahead.
And that's the freak off part. Even the thing with Kim Porter and allegedly him going upside her head or maybe being abusive. That's where the second guessing of Cassie comes in at. Because
Thank you, Dr. Rashida. What a go.
men that are abusive do not hide that they are abusive. They can't hide it but for so much. They just can't. You'll see a black eye. You'll see a scar. You'll see a bruise. Right? You knew that man was abusive and you still were there. Her friend, who supposedly got this book, who did everything he could say, this is her last will and testament. This is her diary. Okay, well, you made this claim. You got this book. You made whatever run you had with this book. Now, we get the important things out of the way.
Thank you for the go popular.
We challenge to see how real this book is. But that's really all it. Yeah, you couldn't defend that you couldn't defend somebody, even if he was your friend, simply because the acts and the deeds were committed privately.
Thank you for the club cheer, Tiffany.
Right? Like Beyonce put in that song Watermelon. We wasn't in that car when she supposedly swallowed them seeds.
Yeah. But
Oil boy, that'll be a sight to see.
you caught me off guard on that one. I didn't study for that one.
But I mean, we wasn't there.
Yeah.
Could she sue and say, "Oh, some of them seeds got in my eye, burned, made me an angry pirate"? She was like, "Arr." Right? Could we do that? No, because we can't defend a person who we weren't there for. We weren't there to defend him. He would never rub baby oil on whatever and do his nipple. We wasn't there for that. We don't know.
All right.
So what makes sense for anybody to step forward to that? Now they can say, "Hey, at any of these lunches, the person that I know is a cool dude." Even with the Tyson Beckford store. Oh yeah, boy ran around the corner, got pumped. Nobody ever said he was a nut, right? As far as fighting and nothing like that. Now the whole him running himself into a wall, that means the buddy hit Tyson Beckford. Tyson dropped his head and rushed him, and ran and
hit the wall
around his waistline like a tackle and hit the wall. That's really what that. I mean, he don't fight with his head up. He pretty, not smart.
The face is the moneymaker. He can't do that.
Yeah. And I've really never had a problem with him, and I don't have a problem with him now, nothing like that. That just explains anybody who's actually ever been in a physical thing. You know, you rush a guy into a wall, that means you either got hit or he swung and missed, you dipped it, and you decided you would tackle.
Right.
There wasn't enough room for the fall.
Got you. I got you on that.
That's as far as my take. You have a great day, good brother. I'm going to sit back, watch, and relax while I'm at work. And everybody have a peaceful Tuesday. Damn, I hope it was Wednesday.
So I appreciate you coming up, brother. Peace and blessings to you. And you're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely. Keep doing your thing, man.
Appreciate that. Peace and blessings. Hey, WWL Uno 215 in the live. Please give it up to him. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for the special stickers. Hey, congratulations to you, little mama. Oh, Renee. Hey, so you won? That's cool. And I saw you said you sent me some messages. So after the show, I'll check them. I'll check them. All right, look, we're gonna go into the second segment of the show, and this is from Celeb Live. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, up front, I don't know about this. I'm not saying it's true. I haven't heard it. Like I told you at the opening of the show, we are listening to all of this in real time together, right? So we gonna hear. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, people. There's a lot of people who are content creators that just kind of, I hate to say this, but it's got to be said. Some people put up clickbait. So I don't know. All right. I'm not saying it is. And like I said in the opening, all things said here are alleged. Right. So we're going to dive in and see what it's about. But shout out to Celeb Live, and the topic or the title is called Beehive Divorcing, and of course capitalized divorcing, Camel Face after DNA bombshell links him to secret love child. Hey, I don't know. We know what's been going on. We know what's been going on with Camel Face and this whole Dana situation. So let's see. She might have some evidence, or she might have some receipts or whatnot. And if she do, great. If she don't, then we'll just give our opinion on it. Let's go.
Ain't nobody around to tell them what to do, and they just get to act the fool. Free Beyonce.
We love y'all. We love y'all. We want y'all to get it right. At least get it close to right.
Tiffany said, "Say it."
And obviously, it's subjective. Y'all don't got to clap at everything.
They've built an empire on silence, but what happens when silence cracks? Right now, the whispers around Beyonce and Jay-Z are louder than ever. And this time, it's not just about music or fashion or even power. It's about betrayal, legacy, and a secret that could tear apart the house that Carter built. According to court chatter and bombshell filings, a judge may have ordered Jay-Z to take a DNA test because Ramir Satterthwaite, a 31-year-old man with a haunting resemblance to the rap mogul, says he's the result of a brief and buried affair from the early 90s. If the results confirm what Ramir has been saying for over a decade, the scandal won't just end with a name on a paternity certificate. It could end the most protected marriage in showbiz. And we're hearing Queen Bey might already be packing her crown.
I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than...
Behind the scenes, it looks like Beyonce has been preparing for a clean break. Quietly, methodically, maybe even years in advance. Real estate trackers and aviation junkies have noticed something strange. Solo flights logged under her team's travel aliases, quiet escrow activity for luxury properties in Malibu and Paris, and multiple bodyguards reallocated away from Jay-Z's detail. One veteran of her security rotation claims she's been training for independence like it's an Olympic event. That's not just distance, that's detachment. And let's be honest, this isn't a woman who leaves things to chance. Not when there are billions, 3 children, and an image machine that could rival NASA's to protect.
It's not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, and I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right, we'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles.
Let's talk symbols, because when it comes to Beyonce, symbols speak louder than statements. For years, fans obsessed over that IV tattoo on her ring finger, matching Jay's, commemorating birthdays, wedding dates, and destiny itself. But in recent months, the ivy is gone. Laser faded, concealed in photos, and eventually not seen at all. Her left hand now flashes designer bling with no loyalty to the past. And for a woman who orchestrates even her Instagram captions like their verse from Psalms, that erasure wasn't an accident. That was a quiet funeral. And while some fans brushed it off as a fashion choice, insiders are calling it what it looks like, a message.
Obviously, it's subjective because...
First, we offer overnight boarding.
What? They be catching me slipping, like I be into it.
Music, and it's opinion-based, but, some things...
And the plot only thickens. Multiple sources from within the legal circles surrounding the Satterthwaite case have described what they call a separation simulation. According to one entertainment attorney with ties to Roc Nation, Beyonce's team initiated a legal firewall strategy back in 2021 that includes vetting offshore trust firms, securing independent residential leases for herself and the children, and allegedly onboarding a second legal team focused not on contracts, but on family law. That's right, divorce prep, not reactive, but proactive. And if it sounds strategic, That's because it is. These moves suggest Beyonce wasn't blindsided by the Dean A drama. She may have been bracing for it.
regarding that. So, at what age then did you start to question, who your parents could be?
Well, I wouldn't say
Father
I
was?
started to question it, but I said around like 7, maybe 6. I think it started at 6, and my mom was just telling me that my father wasn't my father. But as a kid, I really didn't look.
Which brings us back to Rainier. He's not just a name in the tabloids. He's a young man who has spent most of his adult life trying to force Jay-Z to acknowledge him. His mother Wanda filed affidavits, his guardians fought for legal standing, and yet every door they knocked on seemed to vanish into sealed files and procedural loopholes. A man with no father, up against a man with the best attorneys money can buy, until now. Because somewhere in the chaos of recent filings, a thread unraveled, it appears a judge, not yet identified, has demanded a DNA test from Jay-Z. And Beyonce, reportedly, is done waiting to see how he handles it.
Basically, my mom was at a show, and she was with a friend. And I guess her and her friend stayed to, after the show, he was doing little signings and little autographs and stuff like that. I guess he wasn't too big, but I guess females, when the show's over, you can sign little autographs and stuff like that, talk to the people who perform. She said she went up there.
We're hearing the trust is broken, and not just from what Rainier represents, but from how the entire situation was hidden. Beyonce is said to have known about the allegations years ago, but only recently learned about the extent of legal efforts used to suppress them. There are whispers we've heard from 2 former Roc Nation executives.
All right, I'm gonna pause right there for a minute. I want to say a couple of things, but one thing I'm going to say is this: if you go back to that, I think it was Grammys. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was Grammys. But if you go back to that award show when he brought Blue, Camel Face, brought Blue on stage with him. Trying to think of what was the comment he made. It was something about B not winning album of the year all this time. Something. Anyways, in any event, when he got up, or when she got up and she won the award, he went in to give her a kiss, but it wasn't a kiss that it wasn't genuine. And in fact, she like turned on the cheek, like it wasn't on the lips. But we also heard back at that time that, and I'm not saying it's true, I'm just trying to tell you what the word on the curb was, even back then, that they had already been separated. That's why she didn't really act in a loving way with him at the awards. And that's why they were saying he actually made those statements that he made on stage to try to win her back. I don't know. I can tell you as a man, and as being in trouble, I've done the same thing. I try to, use words or try to, win whoever I was dating back, or smooth things out. So I don't, from that perspective, I can see that, but I don't know for sure. Princess K says, was that when he cheated before and she made Lemonade? I don't know if Lemonade, she might have already made it by this time. This is when she got that first. I want to say it was for the country album. No, it wasn't the album because she didn't win that. A song on her country album. So I think Lemonade was made prior to this. But however, you bring up a good point, Princess K. And first of all, good morning to you. But you bring up a good point because we have her she made the Lemonade song. And Adrian said, yes, correct. It was after Lemonade. She had the Lemonade song. Camel Face had the 444 song or album song. I think it was a song. I don't really follow him. I don't really follow neither one of them that much, to be honest. But I think it was a song, 444. It kind of correlates with that. Yeah, Becky with the good hair. Exactly. You see, so at that whole time, you had this going on, and it did look like and we already stated in previous shows that lyrics is art imitating real life. So if you take that stance or point of view on it, then it looks like there was some turmoil within the marriage and some infidelity and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I know for sure. I'm just saying that's what it seems like. That's what it gave off. Jenny says 2014 is when the elevator smackdown happened, and yes, that's another intricate point in the marriage because Beehive's sister, she wasn't the way she was going at him wasn't a plaything. It wasn't like I'm not really that mad. I'm just there was some resentment behind each punch thrown. It was some ill intent by each blow that she threw at him. It's just Graham said to Jenny, sounds like a WWF event. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's how that fight was. Jenny says B said he taught her to be a woman. Oh, he taught her to be a woman. I've heard that too. Again, I'm not saying that they are divorced. I'm not saying that she's filing for a divorce. I'm just saying that, I could see that being true. But then too, I also go back and I think, well, you have to remember, word on the curb was they had an arrangement where she allegedly, and I have to say allegedly, she allegedly stated that it was okay for him to have sexual encounters with other females outside of marriage, as long as he done it only one time. I don't know. I've never had no deal like that, so I can't tell you. I've had some crazy things that, most people I know have never got the chance to live or experience, but nothing never like that. So I don't know. And then we also, last week when we did a show, it was stated that some of these additional kids, remember we went to sleep and it was like 2 kids. And then when we woke up and we did the show the next day, somehow or another, we had added 3 to 4 more kids. And it was alleged that those kids were conceived while he was married to her. So I don't know. But put it like this. I can't say for sure if she is filing for a divorce, and I can't say that she isn't. Now, we also have to bring up, because we done a show before, and I don't know if this was earlier on this channel or if it was on the previous one, but we done a show before where it was alleged, I think it was this one, but it was alleged that she was in a romantic relationship with a security guard. So I don't know. Now, when I say that, I'm thinking about what this person just said in the video, as far as she's allegedly hiring her own security detail. Right, Jenny, her bodyguard. It was alleged she was living with her bodyguard and they were starting their own thing. So when you factor all of that in, it could very well be. Tiffany says, I have never been a fan of them. Regardless, I get the worst vibe off both of them, as in Money Rules. I do as well. I say this, and it's my own personal opinion, but I feel like Camel Face was never the rapper that they say he is. He wasn't as good as they made him out to be. Princess K said a divorce would be too messy. And that's another thing. You got to think about everything that encompasses. I mean, it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of business dealings between the two that it would be messy. It would be messy. And you would think that it would be public, like more people would be talking about it. If that was true, again, I don't know. I just don't know. And I just want to put that out there. I could see if it's true, but I don't know for sure, right? I'm gonna bring Tiffany up real. Hey, bestie.
Hey, I couldn't type at all, so I just want to come up for a sec. But
Okay.
Jay-Z, and I've said this before in different lives, if you go and you actually I'm a researcher, y'all. So I like to research lyrics and I like to know what I'm singing and listening to. And I've researched his music, and one of his songs says, church stops the moment. It says something, I don't remember exactly, and I'm paraphrasing, but if you look up his lyrics, they are heavy. And it's like church stops when the music begins. Something weird.
I think that's in New York Empire State of Mind song.
Yeah, it is. I can't think of it though. It's something it's very like as a believer for me, it doesn't align with my soul. And I've done more research on him, and he's in the art gallery, not with Michelle Lamy, but Maria Abrakovich.
Exactly.
And I don't know, like, when does it stop? Like, when do we as a society stop promoting, like, bad culture? Because they don't really do, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perception, they don't do anything good for, like, the kids, the community, anyone. Like, their money is their money and it's their empire. And I don't know, it's just a lot when you go down the rabbit hole of both of them.
No, you're right on that. Yeah, I do remember. We actually did a show and we had that picture up too, where he was in the art gallery with her. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And basically, he sold his soul then. I mean, it was. Here's what I want, Bestie. Here's what I wish would happen. I wish people would stop pretending like they don't see what they're putting in front of us.
Yeah, I think, and when I say bad culture, I just mean like being with the Abrima Brokovich. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Like,
Yeah,
why
what
would
you
you
talking about?
go and be publicly seen with someone that, I don't know, maybe it's all art, but for me and my spirit, it just doesn't align. That's all I had to say. I have a lot to say about Jay-Z and Bey, but I think she's planning the ultimate revenge, and I think everything they do involves image, and that's it. That's their motive, like what it makes them look like.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and you're right on that. I mean, let's face it. A lot of marriages, when it comes to this type of community, is paired. It's arranged. It's a fixed thing. Like it's for, like I said, it's an image. It's power couple. You know. So again,
You can drop me down. I just had to say that. Just look up his lyrics, y'all, please.
oh yeah, I know what song you're talking about. Hey, I appreciate you coming up, Bestie.
Thank you.
All right. I do know what lyrics she's talking about, and yeah, he does say that it's in Empire State of Mind. Um, and again, as far as the picture with the Maria, I don't know her last name, but um, she's a known, she's basically a known devil worshiper. So why would you be aligned with that? You know, and also I go and I think about some of the things that I believe his name, the bodyguard, I think his name was Uncle Ron, was saying, only for him to end up unalived. And when I say that, I wish people would stop pretending they don't see what's right in front of them. The reason I say that and the reason that bothers me is because people, I love music. I love music. I think music is the undeniable universal language. Um, it is very powerful because, and if you stop and think about it, music, certain songs can always take you back to a place in time, to an event, things of that nature, right? And so it really, and you got to think, it has the ability, the innate ability to make you feel a certain way. It controls your emotion. Um, you just think, you could be here on TikTok, and I'm going to speak from experience. You could be right here on TikTok and just you know scrolling up or whatnot, and somebody have a song on their video that immediately takes you back to a place or to a time where you may have been with someone, you may have something may have happened. Uh, you know, you'll remember where you was when this song came on, when it came out, what you were doing when you was listening to it. You know, right, right. Any lyrics can put you in a trance. It really can. Think about it. and I'm speaking from my experience. Beneath 792 says that's right. I'm speaking from my experience. That's one of my therapy. I've already told you all I suffer with anxiety. I mean, anxiety too, but insomnia. And sometimes I just have to get in the car and go play music and just drive. I don't have a destination. I don't have a specific place that I'm going to. I'm lost in the music. It's taking my mind back to certain things. It's calming me. It's rendering me of those thoughts that I can't process. I can't figure out. I get trapped in. And some. Do you know sometimes our own mind is the worst prison we could be in? And you also, and I said this before, and I say it again. The mind and the eyes are the two most powerful weapons because your mind can make you believe things that aren't there, and it can cause you to not believe things that's right in front of you. Same as your eyes. You could see something not good for you, but you're totally blinded by it because what you want it to be, your perception of what you want it to be. And then sometimes things are great. And I'm speaking from my experience. Sometimes things are great. Sometimes you have a person that's a great companion for you. And because our eyes want more, see more, we end up losing that good thing. And now we got to come back to the music because now we hear a song and it takes us back to that one person that was good to us that we let get away, that we can't have back, that we wish we could have back because that was the song we would listen to when we was around that person. Or that was our favorite song with that person. So you see what I'm saying? So I wish people would just, I don't want to say accept, but just realize and identify what's in front of them. Now, all things that are said aren't true, but we have to just be careful not to just immediately dismiss things. Because for far too long, these people, these artists have gotten over on us because we just simply bought into what they were saying. Or we didn't think anything of it. Like I said, we thought it was just lyrics. We thought it was just a hot song. All the while, they were confessing to us what they were doing. And do you know how hard it is? I'm going to say this and I'm going to get back to the audio so we can finish up Seg 2 because we still got 2 more to go. And I don't want you all to get bored here. So thank you for the Go Popular and the Heart Puffs. I appreciate that, Tiffany. Thank you. Ooh, what is that? Oh, thank you for the antipasto salad. I appreciate that. Jenny says, has anyone seen them above the knee tats on Lil Baby? I haven't. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them, but that's what I'm saying. So it's really Princess K said people love to see the bad, and that's a hurting thing because somewhere along the lines, humanity, compassion is gone. It's gone. We've gotten away from it, and I know it's stated this in the Bible, and I know some people don't believe the Bible, stuff like that. But Jenny says, look it up. So I definitely have to make sure I remember to do that. Matter of fact, let me write that down so I don't forget. So let's get back to it here.
And a paralegal involved in the New Jersey case, that Jay-Z's legal team may have offered favors or deals to a court figure connected to Roc Nation, allegedly to get Ramir's case dismissed on a technicality. That story hasn't broken publicly yet, but it's spreading through music law circles like wildfire.
Imagine being able.
All right. So, as you know,
Here's calm and normal until Solange Knowles, Beyonce's sister,
they're showing the
lunges
elevator. I
at
mean,
her
she
brother-in-law.
listen.
And if even half of it proves true, the implications.
They were showing the Bessie. They were showing the footage from the elevator. Hey, Have you ever saw somebody a fight like even a boxing match or something? One of the boxing matches that stand out to me is between two women. I can't remember one of the ladies' name, the taller YT lady, but the short BLK lady, her name is Ann Wolf. If you haven't seen that boxing match, go and look that up on YouTube. That is, and I'm talking about that's one of the absolute best knockouts ever. And I feel sorry for the YT lady, but that's one of those fights that will never leave your mind once you see it. You're gonna always remember it. And that's an incident like that. That's how that was. The way she was swinging at him in that elevator, we'll never forget that happened. It wasn't she even with the guy trying to pull her back, she's still throwing mayhem at him. I mean, it was she was throwing slobber knockers in the words of Jr.
Are massive. This wouldn't just be a personal betrayal, it would be a conspiracy to silence a child for the protection of a brand. And Beyonce, who's built a reputation on female empowerment, generational healing, and maternal strength, would suddenly find herself cast in the role of silent accomplice. Not a good look. Not for the woman who sold us lemonade. The silence
Jenny
starts
said
to look less like
2014
strength and
lives
more like
rent-free in
strategy.
my head.
But there's only so long you can play the quiet game before the world demands a statement.
I never got anything, so why wouldn't I believe my mom? Like, we could have been settled this, and it only takes a conversation and some words. I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate anyone. I'm not after nobody. I'm not trying to see no one downfall. But this is just some things that just went through court, and they just expected me to just sit there and just take what they were saying. I can't.
Meanwhile, the couple's public appearances have dipped into uncanny territory. Separate arrivals at galas, posed smiles without touch, a family dinner in LA where they sat on opposite ends of the table, surrounded by PR handlers but barely exchanging words. And when Beyonce took Blue Ivy to the grand opening of the Jay-Z exhibition in Brooklyn, she arrived in a separate car, gave a rehearsed smile, and left before the after-party even began. One of the staffers at the library event said it best. She looked like a woman doing a job, not a wife honoring a husband. It's the kind of fracture you don't notice until you realize the pictures don't move anymore. And now fans are going back through old interviews, old lyrics, old performances, searching for the signs. Some are pointing to that moment in Beyonce's Renaissance film premiere where Jay-Z leaned in for a kiss and she turned her head just slightly, enough to land it on her cheek. Others have zeroed in on her tour.
See, I ain't even know about that one. So that's 2 times that happened. But something else just occurred to me too while she was talking, and like I said, I'll get back to it. But I'm thinking back, and there was, again, this is just word on the curb. I don't have any concrete proof or evidence. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just telling you what's being said. That Kelly Rowland's son is actually Camel Face's son. And even though I think that happened before him and Beehive got together, I can still see the conflict of interest that would cause if that is true. And again, I'm just saying that I don't know if it's true or not. I know Princess K said that's BS, and it very well could be. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not. I know Roy Williams had some things to say about it. I do know that he does favor Blue Ivy. But we saw the other girl in the other show. I forgot what we were talking about. Ava. Remember, I told you that girl favored Ava, so she resembled Ava so much, but they weren't the same person or nothing like that. They're not kin to each other. And so, I don't know. One thing I can say with certain, and not feel like I have to say allegedly. I think their relationship, their marriage has definitely had its fair share of rocky time. Regardless if we heard about it or not, I think it's pretty evident. Like I told you before, some of the people that are in this upper echelon, their marriages aren't genuine. They're put together, they're fabricated. And you can only do that for so long, right? Again, I go back. I think that's what I was saying earlier. I didn't finish. I go back and I think about some of the things that Uncle Ron was saying. How Camel Face keeps Beehive derugged up. I think about that time when the camera was on her when they was at the basketball game. She did look spacey. Like that's not, you know, sometimes you don't have to rely on what people say. You could just see it. Like at the game, she was spaced out. Right, Tiffany? It's a facade. It's a facade. It's not real love. It's not genuine. You can only fake the funk for so long. Knee 61, how you doing? Knee 61 says, I think Beehive was never pregnant, but they're his kids and fabricate her they're her children. I think that as well. A lot of people get mad that we say that. Again, you have to think about wasn't a Kathy White situation. You have to think about that. You have to think about the timing of her unaliving. You have to think about what she was doing when she was about to come out and say that she was about to expose that she was carrying his child. And before she could, she got, you know, Natty said, and her stomach deflated. Not, she's talking about Beehive. Right. I tell everybody, I'm not a female, I'm not a woman, so I never experience how it is to be pregnant. And I'm okay with that. I think God definitely made the right decision on making me a boy. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was no boy would be a guy be getting any no. So, but I have made enough kids, 8 to be exact. My final 2 being twins. So I think I do know a little lot of bit, a little lot of bit, seeing women's stomach when they're pregnant, and it doesn't fold like that. Prince's case is sad, but I see how celebrities unalive themselves. Look at how people who never have met them pick. Um, yeah, I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. Um, but on the flip side of that, Princess K, I can also see they do that because they took an oath. They took a shortcut to have wealth, fame, and fortune without really reading the proverbial fine print. So once they get into some kind of contractual agreement or something like that, what all looks good on the surface, you know, shines and glitters and all that looks good. But then once you agree to it, the levels that it go to in order for you to level up, and I'm using the word level up for lack of better words, but to level up or to achieve certain things, I think that's what makes them unalive themselves. And then to end that, Princess K, I still think a lot of them, when it's reported that they unalive themselves, didn't really unalive themselves. I think they have had enough of what they've had to endure in order to keep the level of fame that they have. And when those secrets start to, because remember we was just talking about how the mind is a powerful weapon. They have to constantly sit and think about how they were violated in order to get what they got. And for so long, that manifests as, man, you can't escape it. There's nowhere you can run to forget about it or get away from it. And so it manifests. Then they go into the D-rugs to try to silence that. And it becomes too much. And so the only thing they know to do is to just be out front, expose what's happening, to try to break themselves of that mental prison, that torment that they have to live through. And when certain or said people find out that these people are cracking under pressure and about to expose the industry's deepest and darkest secrets, that's usually when we get a headline that they unalive themselves. You know, I said this before, Princess K, and I pointed this out. What was her name? She's an actor, and she's really good. She used to date Vivica. That's her name, Vivica. Uh, she had gotten all of these body modifications done and stuff because she wasn't happy with her appearance. Well, this is what stood out to me. This is what I got from that. To think that as somebody as beautiful as she is, somebody who is as successful as she is, still wasn't happy with her presence, with herself. So you have to think. Marley 007, hey, how you doing, Bessie? Welcome in. You have to stop and think. They have access to all of this money. They can go get the finest things ever invented if they want to. But yet they're still unhappy. They have all the here's the problem that comes with having a lot of money as well. Now you have a hard time ciphering what's real love and somebody's really loving you. They're around you because they love you, and who's around you just because of your money. Tiffany, yes, miserable. They're miserable. A lot of us just see, okay, well, they got all this money, they're good, they have no problems. What was it? Big said, Notorious B.I.G. What's his song? More money, more problems. Now, when you think, Be the Light says so true. Thank you, brother. How you doing, brother? Think about that. This is the title of a song in 1997. In 2025, and what we know and what's coming out now, more money, more problems. I remember I used to joke before I even, yes, that part right there, Be the Light. Money is temporary happiness. Moderators, can we pin Be the Light's comment, please? He's right on target with that. You know, I remember joking when that song dropped, more money, more problems. I'm like, shoot, more money, more problems. Remember, this is 97. It's long before I even started getting into teaching myself and learning what's going on in the industry and how they work, right? You know, like I said, I've heard some things from my cousin talking, but I didn't even believe it. I'm gonna be honest. I love Bobby, but Bobby is just being honest. He can be off his rocker sometimes. So I would say, shoot, more money, more problems. I like to have his money and his problems, you know, because I want to see what that's like. More money, more problems. I want to see what that's like. Now, no, I don't. And then I also stop and think about the money I did make during pro wrestling and what I did with it. How heavy those demons were, those vices were that wasn't good for me. It took me away from my family, ruined my first marriage. I had D-rugs, using D-rug, uppers, downers, get overs, get between, get bys, all of that. I wear all these scars on my head from it. What am I gaining from it? You see what I'm saying? Lost cars, broke hearts, lost thousands and thousands of dollars. For what? So, more money, more problems, hit different to me now that I'm 48. Tiffany, you just, woo, that comment, it all comes back full circle. It does. But so now what do? I find myself on Thursday nights going up to the wrestling school and watching these young people coming in training to be in pro wrestling, and I'm talking to them about the dangers on the road, the pitfalls. Be careful. look out for this. This is going to be offered to you. When people find out what you do in the line of work, they think it's the coolest thing that you're a pro wrestler. You can get anything. Doctors, women, store. I mean, for real. You get to a point where you totally forget about blessings. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna get back to this. I just want to put that out there and talk to Princess K about that because she's right. She's right in what she's saying, but I think there's also a lot of other variations that causes them to, end up that way.
Wardrobe. Golds and silvers replacing blues and blacks, diamonds over wedding rings, and not a single mention of Jay-Z in her speeches. Not even when she swept awards season like
Marley
a thunderstorm.
007 said it's all
she
true.
thanked her
It's all
family,
true.
she thanked the fans,
And it leads
but
to
the
forgetting
husband,
where you came
not a
from.
word.
That part.
10 years ago.
Dev says, I got to go, Bestie.
they
I'll
say
catch
this
you next
was
live.
a
Have a
party
great day.
for
You too.
Diddy's
Thank you for
son,
joining in.
King
You have a great
Combs,
day, Bestie.
but
Be careful.
all the names involved
We love you to
here
life.
are huge. Huge. Talking Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James. Now, and all of those people are just witnesses, according to this lawsuit.
All of this casts a long shadow over Jay-Z's own crisis, because while he's battling new lawsuits related to the alleged paternity and past misconduct claims that range from deflection to fraud to even darker territory, Beyonce seems to be staging a quiet escape. Her team has clamped down on media inquiries, issued soft retractions about any divorce chatter, and even reposted a few old family photos to stabilize the narrative. But behind the curtain, the play looks very different. We've seen this move before: controlled optics, public distance, and a slow rebranding of identity.
Commercial. Let's get this out the way. There we go.
Not Mrs. Carter. And for anyone wondering whether this is just a blip, one source close to her Houston circle says she's already met twice with a prominent family law attorney known for handling high net worth, low profile dissolutions. That's not rumors, that's calendar entries. And if the court-ordered DNA test confirms what Rymir's been claiming since 2010, Beyonce's exit might not just be personal. It might be political, because in a time when she's aligned herself with justice reform and female resilience, staying silent next to a partner with these kinds of allegations hanging over him might no longer be an option.
He took them to some apartment building, and they did what they did in there. Talked a little bit, had a good time, party. And I guess I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. It was just, and I honestly just believe her. It's just no doubt.
But let's not forget, this isn't just about a paternity test. This is about a legacy. Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't just build a marriage, they built a myth. The Bonnie and Clyde of music, the power couple of all power couples. And yet, if these rumors are true, if there's bribery, betrayal, and a child whose only crime was being born, then everything they built could be at risk. The image, the brand, the empire, and the fuse may have already been lit. Because the whispers about a judge being influenced didn't come from tabloids. They came from people who were in the room. We don't know yet whether that story will go public, but if it does, it could change everything. And while the silence from Beyonce's camp grows heavier, what's emerging underneath that polished stillness is something far more dangerous than marital heartbreak.
See, they just showed what I was talking about. How Beehive was spaced out at the game. They was courtside at a game. I don't know if it was Knicks. I don't know if it was Lakers. It don't matter. That's not my point. I'm talking about how she was spaced out. I'm talking about hey, just go see. Go look. You ain't got to take my word for it. Please don't take my word for it. Go and look.
If this split happens, and by all signs it already is behind the curtain, the fallout won't be a matter of who gets the Bel Air mansion or custody over Instagram aesthetics. It will be about what gets unearthed, because what started as a paternity dispute with one persistent man could now expose a decade of sealed filings, unanswered subpoenas, and names that appear too often in too many places. Places that now sit at the center of multiple federal investigations.
At a party, so there would presumably be people who could verify it or say it didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems. You're right. When you mention all those people, they may all have alibis.
Well, Jay-Z certainly seems to have one.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z has mentioned that he's there with Beyonce.
but we know that Jay-Z was in New York.
Yes.
The night that it was supposed to. Now,
the night of King Combs of his birthday, which happens to be April 1st.
We traced Jay-Z's Gulfstream flight records through a civil aviation database used by industry trackers, and what we found raises even more questions. One former Rock Nation associate confirms his private jet was logged landing in Miami just days before one of Sean Diddy Combs' so-called freak-off weekends allegedly occurred.
Man, you gotta hate when
Another
that
sighting
happens.
places Jay-Z's aircraft on the tarmac at Teterboro, the same New Jersey airport used to shuttle high-profile guests to Diddy's upstate estate, the same property now under scrutiny for its alleged connection to coerced misconduct. Why was Jay-Z's jet there during those weekends in those places? Coincidence? Or proximity by design?
10 years.
Oh, Mr. Diddy, aka Mr. Love, now.
No, Sean Carter.
Former Rock staffer who spoke under anonymity for fear of retaliation said flatly, Jay knew what went on at Diddy's parties. Everyone who was invited did. You didn't show up to those weekends by accident. And you didn't bring your own team. You used theirs for a reason. If that's true, it's not just guilt by association. It's logistics. A paper trail. One that Beyonce, reportedly, has known about for months, possibly years.
Now, that's the receipts I'm talking about. Elena, welcome in. Good morning. She says, good morning from Tampa. Thank you. How you doing? Thank you for joining in. Good morning to you from ATL. That's the receipts that I'm talking about. Oh, and welcome to hashtag I'm going to say it. That's the receipts that I'm talking about. If they can produce that, if they have that and they can produce that, yo, it's hard. Listen, when you got things in black and white, it's hard to trump that. Elena said, I miss Atlanta. You got to come back up. You got to come back and visit. I wish you could move back, I'm sure. I didn't know you was from here. You stayed here. How long were you here? That's you can't, when it's black and white, that's it. That's the deed.
And if so, her silence becomes not just self-protection, but strategic insulation from a wider net of accountability. It's not the first time Beyonce has used silence as her scalpel. Over the years, she's developed a language beyond
20
words,
years, you're a fellow
symbolic
AT
code
alien.
etched into visual
For
cues,
real.
bodily choices, and deliberate absences. When she removed her IV tattoo, it wasn't just about ending a chapter with Jay-Z.
Don't get fooled by
Tiffany
phone
said,
scam.
I want to go to the beach. Take me to the beach.
Ritualistic severance. That Roman numeral wasn't inked casually. It marked their birthdays, their wedding date, their entire mythology. Scrubbing it away wasn't a whim. It was grief in reverse, a private funeral for a marriage the world still assumed was intact.
I got older in my mind.
You know, I think about that. Okay, so when she brought up the tattoo, you know, removing that and whatnot, I remember when Big passed away, you know, Faith had a tattoo with his name on her, you know. And because look, my kids, the woman I have 5 kids by, she got my name tattooed on her, you know, and she never covered it up. But Faith covered it up with a black rose. Now I know she got married to other people, and that might have been why she done it. But I think, and this is just me, but especially something like that, you don't cover that up. That was before you met that person. Again, I don't. It's her decision. It's her choice. But I'm just saying it kind of, you know, when you go into hearing that she basically was planning to keep eyes on Big, that says a lot. To me, it does. And again, that's just my thought. I see things differently from everybody else sometimes. But I just think that if you've got a connection with someone like that, you don't take that away, you know. And like I said, especially if it was somebody you was with before they passed away, that's sentimental, and it doesn't matter who you're with. I think they would understand that. Natty says, "Yep, right now I'm at my other office in Sarasota, though. Sarasota is beautiful. I love Sarasota."
I just continue to say the same thing, and she never changed the name. Like, you know, she always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, why? Like, as I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, this. You've been saying this since I was a kid, so it's like now my mom never lied to me, so why not?
And it didn't start there. Long before this latest unraveling, Beyonce had already begun broadcasting her inner fractures through carefully staged transformations. The infamous pixie cut in 2013, dismissed at the time as a bold style switch, now reads like the prelude to emotional upheaval. According to stylists close to her team, it was planned like a statement, down to the exact timing post-tour. It wasn't about aesthetics, it was about shedding skin, haircuts, ring removals, cold poses on warm
Elena
carpets.
said, I lived in
These
Manatee
weren't just
County.
fashion moves,
So
they were
pretty.
control.
Yes.
When your voice
Natty
is watched,
said, yes, it is.
accepted,
I have no
twisted,
regrets moving
you
down
let
here.
your
It's
body
expensive,
speak.
but
Would be
it's
something I
paradise.
really would want to
It is
find out because
tropical
in the
paradise.
future.
It's
And what it's been
worth every
saying
penny.
lately is chilling. The shift in her visual identity during the Renaissance era, glittering but impersonal, veiled yet bold, mirrors a woman stepping into her power alone. No longer intertwined,
Tiffany said, now I
no
gotta
longer
look up
performing
Pixie Cut.
partnership. This is Beyonce uncoupled not just from a man, but from a myth. Every public appearance since has layered on the same message. She's mourned in private, she's burned the old vows, and now she's preparing for rebirth. Not soft, not apologetic, but strategic, surgical, and already halfway out the door. And then there's Rangmir, the man at the center of this scandal, who says all he ever wanted was truth. According to court documents and statements given to media outlets, he's not just been blocked from pursuing his claim, he's been targeted. Sources familiar with the case say that in the months leading up to the most recent lawsuit filing, Rangmir received
Natty
multiple
said to
anonymous
Tiffany,
phone
these
calls,
videos got us
warning him to stop.
researching
We're
like
told
we're
that
back
at
in
least
high
two of
school.
those calls were traced to digital numbers
I
linked to an
know,
internal
right?
roster at a prominent Los Angeles PR firm, the same firm used by Beyonce's team for crisis management and public positioning.
So we just fought it. Like it was never to chase anyone or make any.
We have to stop and realize, people, she has business ventures on her own, separate from Camel Face. And so, in order to keep some things business-wise on her plate, she may want to just be divorced from him, so she don't have that on. It could be. Look, listen. I don't know. I'm just saying. It could possibly be true. I think we just gotta wait and see. You know, I'm not saying that it is true. I'm just saying I think that it deserves the time of us waiting to see how it plays out. Be the Light says, I'm going to get some lunch. Talk to you later. All right, brother. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. You going live later? Natty says to Tiffany, me too. Just learn I have to stop doing it at night or it's 2 a.m. and I'm still going. Natty says, and I got to be up for work at 4 a.m. Dang, you don't get no time.
One feel like we just trying to come up with a plan to take your money.
Tiffany says, I go to bed at 10:30 regardless.
That's not what I'm hearing.
I got
I'm really
kids.
here
I feel you on
to
that.
just find the truth
Around
out,
5.
and
All right, brother.
It seemed like
okay, thank you.
that was just so hard to do in these courts.
Hey, those of you that sit here, if you're not following Be the Light, please go and follow him. And his live will be on around 5 p.m. Please be looking for that. Let's go over and support him. Enjoy your day, brother. Thank you once again for dropping in. Thank you for the Go Popular. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Are not here.
Let's ask the question plainly. Why would Beyonce's people have any reason to monitor, let alone contact, the alleged son of a man she's never claimed as family? Why would her crisis team be circling a paternity case filed by a stranger, unless that stranger was closer to her orbit than the public was ever supposed to know?
That's
If
a good
Beyonce
question.
truly had no part in suppressing the truth, why does her name even appear in the metadata of legal communications tied to this case? A former paralegal who worked briefly with a law firm adjacent to the proceedings claims she was told, quote, "Don't mention the singer. We're not supposed to name her in emails." That's not distance, that's orchestration. And it gets even darker. Legal watchdogs combing through the filings have pointed out procedural irregularities, missing timestamps, hearings never scheduled, entire affidavits sealed without explanation. Multiple court clerks in New Jersey were reassigned during the time Remir's filings were allegedly misfiled or delayed.
And that's why those judges, there's been stated that they're being accused or sued for corruption. Got to go give them that
Name
data.
appears both in Remir's filings and in unrelated business contracts with Roc Nation, quietly retired mid-term. No.
Wait, hold on. I missed that. Hold on, Princess K. Princess K says, if your husband had an alleged side kid, wouldn't you be looking into it? Yeah, well, not only that, but for sure the ones that he allegedly had while they're supposed to be married. I agree with you, Princess K. Look, I would want to know everything. Princess K says because I sure as hell would be. I sure as hell would. He doing a deep dive into it, looking for every detail. I mean, it would only make sense.
No press conference, no statement, just gone. If we're looking at a cover-up, we're not talking about a favor. We're talking about institutional protection for one of the most powerful families in American pop culture. A machine designed not just to defend Jay-Z, but to protect Beyonce from ever having to answer for what she may have known.
I don't have no felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
Because now the questions go beyond, is Jay-Z a father? They go to the legal implications of that birth. Wandel Satterthwaite, Ramir's mother, was reportedly just 16 when she became pregnant. Jay-Z was in his early 20s. If that relationship took place as alleged, and in a state where the age of consent was 17, the fallout could stretch beyond paternity and into criminal liability. And here's the part no one's talking about yet. If Beyonce knew about this relationship years ago, if she knew a statutory violation was at the heart of her husband's biggest secret and stayed silent, what does that say about the values behind her brand? We've long been sold an image of Beyonce as a feminist icon, a cultural guardian, a symbol of female strength and generational healing. But now we're being asked to square that image with the possibility that she helped shield a man from accountability, all to protect the empire they built together. Is her sudden separation a righteous escape, or a carefully timed pivot before the bomb drops? Because let's not forget, court orders can unseal at any moment, depositions can leak, and if Rymir gets the DNA confirmation he's been demanding for over a decade, everything changes.
That's a fact that anybody can find. Sure. But what happened once he got into this party at Diddy's house is outrageous. And I know we're supposed to take every lawsuit seriously because we don't know, we weren't there. The Gloria Estefan part, that's just the start. How Beyonce gets involved.
It won't stop with headlines. It will trigger new lawsuits. It could trigger an appeal to reopen cases dismissed on technical grounds. And if those sealed records come loose, records that may contain financial transfers, internal memos, maybe even email exchanges between legal teams and crisis managers, then what we're looking at isn't just a broken marriage. It's the slow public implosion of a dynasty that survived everything except the truth. So now we turn to you. What if the DNA test proves Jay-Z is the father? What if that truth uncovers not just betrayal, but a crime? And what if Beyonce, the queen of control, knew all along and helped bury it beneath press tours, perfume launches, and perfectly staged Grammy speeches? Is she escaping a scandal, or is she hiding one of her own? Let us know what you believe in the comments below, because this storm's just getting started.
All right, that concludes segment number 2, and I want to reiterate. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I could see it being true. I could see her wanting to distance herself from all of this is going on, right, Tiffany? That's wild. It's wild. Like I told you all a few minutes ago, she has brands and business dealings on her own that has nothing to do with him. And in order to keep those business deals on the table, Tiffany, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that, bestie. Thank you. If she wants to keep those business deals on the table and keep in line with what she stands for, she has to distance herself. She has to sever ties, possibly. Tiffany says he's bad for her image. Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, bestie. It's bad for her image, man. And so she has to get that. Listen, you we just came off this 3-year-old saying that you allegedly raped her with Puffy Jacket. You got the kid saying that, you hunched his mama when she was young, and you had a baby, and you keep denying that. I mean, and then allegedly there's other kids that you had while we were together. I can't deal with this. Let's be honest, people. We don't know if it's true or not. But if it is, could we blame Beehive? I mean, let's think about what happened with Al Green when he got caught. She threw hot grits on him. And again, to your sons, look, you know y'all my boys, man. Y'all my boys. And I know I bring up y'all dad like that. I mean, of course, y'all don't even care about him. Y'all don't even like him. But what I'm saying is, it's a true thing. Your pops, he got caught. And the lady threw the hot grits on him. So I'm not condoning any violence. What I'm saying is, wouldn't we much rather Beehive just divorce him than take it to that extreme? Well, some probably wouldn't care, but I'm just saying. Natty said the whispers of her time with the bodyguard. Exactly, bestie. Allegedly, word on the curb is that they live together. Princess K says she has to divorce him. There's just no other way. You got too many business ventures that you can't have this baggage on you and still try to have a profitable business career with these different entities, different companies and stuff. And right, it's supposed to be women empowerment. Look, if she was to stay, if this is true, if all these things are true and she was to stay, she would be totally contradicting what she supposedly stands for. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? All right. Let's go into segment 3. I know, I'm sorry, I'm holding you all. Look, we gotta make up for all the time we done missed. All right, so let's go into segment 3. Jenny, are you still in here, bestie? Is Jenny still in here? Because I hope so. I hope she is. Princess K says, and as women, we have all stayed with someone too long. Yeah. And you know what, Princess K? Bestie, I'll take it a step further. And I'll speak from experience. So have some of us men. We've stayed longer than we should have. You know? Our hearts have caused us to stay longer when our minds knew it was best that we left. You know? So, yeah, I can get that. I get that, you know? I guess the thing about it, you know, sometimes we do get to some people get to a point where it's just like, hey, you know what? We've been on this cycle of abuse for years. For years. I want off. It's just not getting better. And now, you know, they're not in their prime. And to be honest, I'm going to say it. Hashtag I'm going to say it. Look at her and look at him. I think she deserves. She's played her part long enough that I think she deserves to leave if she wants to leave. Right? It's just she's played her part. Natty says people often forget that goes both ways. True story. That's a true story. They do. All right, I guess Jenny's gone. Okay, but here's what I was going to say because she asked me about Faith Evans earlier, and this is we're going to cover a piece on Faith Evans because, you know, I talked about how she has been lying since the '90s about her and Pac. So Culture Spill, shout out to Culture Spill, they have this content, and the title says Faith Evans reveals how Kidada Jones, those who don't know who Kidada Jones is the daughter of the late music mogul, whatever, producer. He's a producer. Quincy Jones. Right? And she was dating Tupac at the time that he was unalive or passed unalive. So Faith Evans reveals how Kadada Jones confronted her for sleeping with Tupac. Let's just get into that. I don't even think we need to go anywhere. We just need to just go on and listen.
Child, can I just say that the way Faith Evans keeps on denying that she hooked up with Tupac is giving diabolical at this point, especially since we've literally had eyewitnesses.
Now,
several.
I ain't
Allegedly.
the gossip, but I seen this one with my own eye. Faith Evans did screw Tupac. She got in the car with him that night when he left the club. We was all at the Century Club, baby. Anybody that knew the club that was popping back in the day was the Century Club. B, I love you, much respect, my nigga. Yeah, Faith Lil Cuckoo was hot. She went back with Pac that night.
They
She
bring
jumped in the
76.
car.
Wow.
I don't know if they ever made
Yeah.
it to the hotel, but she just did the Jewel experience in the limo.
I open the door, all I see is black hood on, black, everything black, right? She strike like been here before. She strike. And look, she said, hey, Drew. And just boom, and made a left. I'm like, what the fuck is that? She said, nigga, that's Faith. I said, Faith Evans? Because she's a light bright, I already knew. Because she was thin then, you know what I'm talking about, hella thin. He's like, yeah, nigga. I'm like, all right, my nigga, I'm gone.
Yeah, they were sitting in a little, we call it a red room. It's like a little private room that's no bigger than a bathroom. They had a little couch in there. That's where niggas would go, either whoop on somebody or mainly to go and hook up with a chick. And he was sitting in that room. For some reason, I was.
Natty
going
said,
into
I've
that
been
room,
telling people she
or just
tried to
checking around
steal
for
my
the
first
studio
husband,
catching up,
Pac.
and they were in there.
Hey.
And he was pushing at that time.
Yeah.
Hit her head.
I
down
believe she
toward
did it.
His genitals.
Can your dentures withstand the force?
Look, look. Here's the thing, though. These are people who just said that they saw her hooking up with him. These are people who don't even like each other. So why would they even lie on the same story? You see what I'm saying? Like, if they don't like each other, it's like, he lied, he wasn't there, he don't know what he don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, come listen. Natty said, I would tell you what I think of you, but I'm a Christian woman. Hey, listen, I'm trying to tell you. Wait, you talking about me? If so, and I love you, bestie. Daybreak 76 says, who gonna turn him down? Listen, look, we as men, let me pause it. We as men, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Faith knows she did it. Here's my thing with that, bestie. There's no reason. We're what, 30 years later? There's no reason to even keep up. That he's not even here no more. Big's not even here no more. Then let's fast forward to more recent times. She married Stevie J. Stevie J was Big's homie. Listen. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I just see things from different. I don't know. I just believe. I believe her. I believe that she did it. I don't believe her. I believe that she did it. And I think she did it. Just, I mean, you got to think about it. As much as I love Big, man, that's my favorite rapper of all time. I mean, I got to keep it $150. He did make her look. Well, I don't know. Let me take that back. Can I take that back? I can't say. Okay, let me put it this way. If it's true that Puffy Jacket only planted her with Big so she can keep an eye on him, then nah, Big ain't wrong for what he did. Maybe he had some intel that I didn't know about, or we didn't know about in the 90s. But if that wasn't the case, if she really truly loved him, and I mean, then he had her looking crazy out here. I mean, Mary J. and Lil Kim and Charlie Baltimore's, and I mean, granted they wasn't together. I don't think when he was with Charlie Baltimore, but in any event, he been with different women. You know. So Natty said, "That's the one right there." Adrian says she has no morals, so not sure why she is denying it. That a W Adrian in the live. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, what's the point now? Adrian says I definitely would have admitted it after how big was with Lil Kim. Why not? You know, like I mean, first of all, and then yeah, Natty Kim really did love Big. I have to agree with you on that. And then think about it. Think about what she said, Adrian, Natty. Y'all think about what she said. He asked me to do a song. I didn't know that there was any East Coast and West Coast beef. Who in the who? Her whole credibility right there. Cause think about it.
Female voice. Who in the 90s, where all this was going on, didn't know that Tupac and Big had beef?
Exactly. Natty. Stevie Wonder saw that. She said, come on, man. Like, yeah, listen, let's stop playing. And now here we are 30 years later, and you still holding on to this. I mean, I get it. I heard Die With a Lie. I heard that. But come on, man.
So, allegedly, Faith was approached by Pac's girl, Kidada Jones, about what was going on. And guess what? She still denied it. Well, I've gathered all the receipts and testimonies from people who swear that there was something going on. And I personally don't see why they would all lie about such a thing. What I'm more concerned about is, why does Faith keep denying it? And what's the deal with her and Kidada? Okay, if there's one thing we know, it's that Tupac and Kidada didn't quite get off on the right foot. The thing is, Tupac criticized Quincy Jones in an interview where he spoke about Quincy's interracial relationships and having mixed-race children. At the time, Kidada Jones' sister, Rashida Jones, slammed Tupac in an article, calling into question his moral compass and shaming him for having a lack of respect for her dad. Then Kidada Jones and Pac met months later at a nightclub, and Tupac approached Kidada, believing her to be Rashida Jones, to apologize for his previous comments about their father. And in a rather unexpected turn of events, they fell in love, and they were together until Tupac's untimely death. Kidada even wrote about Tupac's final hours in her father's autobiography, saying that Tupac was the love of her life, and they lived together for 4 months until he was unalived in Las Vegas in 1996. Kidada also said that the experience was the most horrible thing that ever happened to her, and on the night of Tupac's death, she was in a hotel room they booked together when she received the call. Then when she got to the hospital, Kidada was handed Pac's blood-stained clothes at the hospital and told her fiancé had lost all blood pressure on arrival. According to what she wrote in the biography, Kidada said to Pac as he lay in the hospital bed, "Do you know I love you? Do you know we all love you?" And Tupac nodded, convulsed, and fell into a final coma. Kidada also wrote in her father's autobiography, "I knew we should have never gone to Vegas that night. I had a horrible feeling about it. I've gone over it in my mind a million times. It wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to be there. It was the worst possible thing that could have happened." Well, one thing about Pac is that he was a ladies' man.
Can I pause right there for a minute? You know, once again, I be catching this stuff, man. You know, Kadada just said MP2 MP. Thank you for that heart, me. Welcome in, Bestie. How you doing? Daybreak said, who went to confront about what? Kadada Jones went and confronted Faith Evans about sleeping with Tupac. Allegedly, I have to say allegedly. You know, I wouldn't doubt that she did, but we'll just say allegedly here. But I have to. When we watch this, I listen. And shout out to MP2MP. Reached fan level 8 in the fan club. Let's give it up for it. Thank you for that love and support. MP2MP. She said we were not supposed to be there. She had a feeling something was going to go wrong. They were not supposed to be there. Now think about this. Wasn't Big supposed to be in London and not in LA?
And he allegedly slept with a bunch of women, including Faith Evans. Well, at the time, Faith Evans was also dating Biggie after they met at a promotional photo shoot for Bad Boy Records in 1994. And while talking about how quickly they got married, Biggie said, "I married her after knowing her 8 days and I was happy. That was my baby." At the same time, with us being so spontaneous, we did it backwards. But when it comes to this relationship, there were always reports claiming that Biggie was cheating on Faith with multiple women, including Lil' Kim. And Faith even fought Lil' Kim numerous times over Biggie. In fact, Faith's main hatred towards Kim at the time was because Kim and Biggie acted.
Oh, no. Okay, I see where you lost at Daybreak 76. No. So, Pac made comments about Quincy Jones, Kadada, and I forgot her sister's name. But the sister went and did an interview and was basically calling out Pac about what he said about their dad. Later on at a club, Pac went up to Kadada thinking it was her sister, to apologize. And that's when they fell in love.
Like they were like family, but were really messing around. She even once told a story about how she went to Biggie's house around the holidays and caught him and Kim naked in bed. Then Biggie tried to convince Faith that he didn't sleep with Kim. Anywho, around this time, Tupac and Biggie were also feuding, and for those who recall, the feud further escalated when Faith Evans collaborated with Pac on a song and was even photographed next to him, which led to rumors of them having an affair. But when Faith was asked about her involvement in the feud and working with Tupac, she acted like she didn't even know what people were talking about.
I went to the studio. I realized there were a bunch of Death Row people there, so kind of in my mind, it all started kind of figuring it out. I started figuring it out like right there, like, okay. So, I mean, I played it off and played it cool, even though I didn't feel...
Come on. Faith, give it up. Faith, give it up. Give it up. Just give it up, girl. We all know.
The Suge and Puff situation. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't really know a lot of the details about what happened, but it was clear that he took a jab at Puff at the Source Awards and stuff like that. But I was pretty oblivious to a whole lot of the things that had gone on prior to that, you know, until probably a few years later, you know what I mean? So I just played it cool because I'm a people person, and some of the people I had seen before or seen in passing or knew who they were, so I gave them respect, gave them a dab, Corrupt, whoever, you know, smoking with people, drinking a Budweiser, just trying to, you know, be cool in the moment to get the thing done. You know what I mean?
Like, Faith wants us to believe that everyone else knew that there was a feud between Tupac and Biggie, yet she, who was dating Biggie, had no idea about what was going on. Crazy stuff. In fact, when people were saying that she had an affair with Pac, Faith threw Tupac under the bus, saying that when it was time for Pac to pay her the $25,000 she said she was owed, she went to Pac's hotel to collect. And Pac allegedly told her to give him a blowjob. In her words, it was a very surprising and offensive way for sure. By that time, it was pretty clear to me, it seemed to me that was kind of like a plan. I kind of allowed myself to be played and allowed myself to get into the situation because this is totally not how I operate. That ain't how I do business. And that was never up for discussion as far as that being an exchange. That's not what it was about. I mean, she was obviously lying about not knowing about the beef, and she keeps lying about never hooking up with.
Put a 1 in the live if you buy her lie. Put a 2 in the live if you know better and know she lying.
Tupac, even though several people have confirmed the allegations. Well, if there's one person who was out here confirming that Faith did, in fact, hook up with Tupac, it was Jaguar Wright.
You married Biggie when you wanted Tupac. That's hilarious.
Natty said deuce.
You wanted
Adrian
Grammys,
said deuce.
but you settled for ghostwriting for a whore like Mary J. Blige. That's hilarious.
She actually said that Biggie's mom would probably have preferred for Biggie to marry Lil' Kim because that's somebody who actually loved on her son. Then she said that Faith Evans settled for a life that is so far beneath her when she's one of the most talented female artists in the world. But you know what else caught the attention of many people? Jag suggesting that Faith may not even know her baby daddy because she was hooking up with both Big and Tupac around the same time she got pregnant. Apparently, allegedly, somebody she knows even took photos of Tupac and Faith when they were...
Hey, I'm gonna tell you one of the hardest lyrics I've heard in a rap song of a guy dissing his baby mama would be Brooklyn's finest, and Big says gotta go, Coolio, mean the spot's getting too hot. If Faith had twins, she would probably have Tupac's. Get it? Tupac. That's the hardest line ever. Although, let me fill people in who may not know this, but in all actuality, yes, they do have CJ together, but Faith was pregnant with twins, allegedly, by Biggie. Right? And the twins, she miscarried. Okay? So when he made that verse, he was really referring to her because she was pregnant with twins by him, allegedly by him. Okay? I just want to get that up. But yeah, Natty, that was clever right there. That was clever. Natty said Pac had all the crazy women obsessed. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as I didn't like him in the 90s, I thought he was just bullying Pac. Bullying Biggie. But I like him. As I got older, I understood what's going on. I like both of them. I like Big more. I just look at it like, yeah, okay, Pac had the looks, and so that kind of went his way. Whereas Big, not so much. No shade, fam. Not so much, but he had the charisma, so he had to work 1,000 times extra harder to pull the girl, but he did it. Princess K said both were womanizers, and that is correct. No lies detected there.
We're hooking up in the booth at Death Row.
No shade, but
It's
no lies
pretending
detected.
like you didn't know, that you weren't sure whether or not you were carrying Tupac's babies. That's hilarious. Hilarious is both of the I know and kick it with that worked at Death Row that heard Pac in the booth
Dang, he hit it
and
in the
took
booth.
pictures
Now that's the soundtrack right there.
of
again.
your very high yellow eggs.
Ooh, they took a picture
Give
of him.
by that very gorgeous,
ooh.
dark-skinned, thin man.
Okay, so look now. Moderators, do we have to say allegedly if somebody got pictures of her booty getting by Pac? Do we have to use alleged? I'm just saying, do we have to use alleged? I'm just saying. Look, here's my advice to Faith Evans.
Female voice. Girl, go on and tell the truth. Child, this is too much. You done carried this on for too long. You know you went and hunched that man. Go ahead and say it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, I agree, Princess K. Jag is a couple of French fries short of a Happy Meal. No doubt, no lie. But there's other people who have placed, in their words, not mine, her high yellow booty in that booth with Pac, like I said, these are people who don't even like each other. So what would they gain? Like, one would just be like, no, they're lying, they wasn't there, or no, they just talking, trying to get clout, something like that. Nah, they both saying, it was her. Natty said, Faith, try telling the truth one time for the one time and see how it feels. Just the one time. What 50 Cent say, Nat? Just a little bit. Just tell the truth just a little bit. We already know. Like, just go ahead and say it. What are we doing with our lives right now?
And your obese husband, who
Sandy,
you
thank
didn't
you for
know.
sharing out the live. I
Child,
appreciate it. And
Jaguar
welcome
to
to
drop the
hashtag
tea,
I'm going to
hot
say it.
and steaming. Anyway, we also had somebody like Spice One also confirming that there was definitely something intimate going on between Faith and Tupac.
Faith, that was Pac's girl. That was not his girl, but that was him and her and Pac had something together. They was buddies. It's fun to say this, but we gonna keep it real.
That's all.
A lot of I don't want to kill nobody's game or nothing, but a lot of you got one that you know that don't give a who you with, and you don't give a who she with. From infinity until beyond.
There is no lie.
Y'all
right there. Yeah, just a little bit.
And that was Pac and Faith.
Another person who said that he definitely witnessed something going on was Ray J. Yep, he said at the time that when he started interacting with the likes of Tupac, he was a bit young, but he was old enough to see what was going on. Based on what he said, he saw Faith Evans sitting on Tupac's lap in the kind of way that would suggest that there was something going on between them. Even Desiree said that Tupac 100% slept with Faith Evans. Well,
now listen, Desiree actually was. She was in a relationship with Pac. They were good friends. They were in a relationship, and he told her that he did it. Yeah, Rap God Thanos, shout out to you, brother. Yeah, I wish I could have skipped that part with Ray J. I don't trust nothing he said. But Desiree said that's the one thing Pac didn't have to do is lie on his, if he said he did a girl, then he did it, And the thing about it was, you got to think about it. At this time, he was with her. They had their thing going on. But he told her he was going to do it prior to him doing it. He said he's only doing it to get back at Biggie. And when he did it, he called her and said he did it. Hey, give it up. I mean, just stop, man. Like, CJ's grown now. CJ's grown now. Now, granted, if he finds out that you was behind his father's unaliving, it may be some falling out between you two. But he's a grown man now. There's no point in just. You can't lie and sit here and say you didn't do something with this dude, man, and you did. Just too many people have said they saw you. Too many people have put you in a place at the same time Pac was there, and they saw you together. Princess K says, but as adults, would we tell our kids our dirt? Would you? If my daughter was on here, she would tell you. Yes, listen. Yeah, I tell my kids because some of the dirt that I did, it really messed up their life. You see what I'm saying? It was a decision I made that maybe at that point didn't hinder them, but in the long run, it did. In fact, a lot of people, Princess K, that I know, a lot of people, my kid's mother, she's one, but all of my kids' mother, like all four of them, they're saying, no, you're too honest. You tell the kids too much. But like I said before, I say it again, Princess K, I keep it $150 with my kids because when they get, and I'm talking about when they were younger and now that they older. I just told you about my second oldest daughter. She swear up and down. She swear for cheese and crackers I'm a bad father because I hold her accountable. But here's the thing. I go to them and I apologize to them for stuff I did 20, 30 years ago. Out the blue. Because I want them, when they're in that situation, I want them to know one thing. Daddy didn't sugarcoat nothing like mommy did. This is exactly what daddy said was going to happen, and this is exactly how it happened. This is playing out just like that. Oh, Gary Sheffield, yeah, Gary Sheffield, great baseball player too. But yeah, I'm honest with mine. And people may not agree with it. I don't know. My kids' mothers, they could be right. Maybe I am doing it wrong. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I didn't tell my son this, but my first wife. I cheated on my first wife with my kid's mother when I got 5 by. As a matter of fact, our last 3 kids was while I was married to somebody else. But mind you, my ex-wife and I have a son together. And I didn't bring it up, Princess K. I didn't bring it up. Thank you for the let him cook. I appreciate that, Natty. I never brought it up. But I knew it was going to happen. So let me tell you what happened by me The one time that I decided not to tell my kids something. They live in Arizona. And this was years back, though. I mean, we're better now. This was like 10 years ago. Nah, maybe 8 years ago. But in any event, I get off of work. Hard day of work, man. I get off work, come home. I get a phone call from my son. And I pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, son, how's it going? He said, Dad, you cheated on my mom? I was like, because this is the one thing I said, okay, I'm going to get this one right. I'm not going to break up no families this time, man. I'm going to do this right. And I dropped the ball. Daybreak 76 says, do all men cheat? Asking for a friend. Not all. Not all. I don't think all men cheat. I don't think all women cheat. However, I do think that the ones who don't cheat, something could happen to them and they start doing it. And again, I'm when I tell you this or when I'm answering this, I'm speaking from experience. Between my 8th grade year and my freshman year of high school, I was corny, man. Like I and I was dating a girl who I thought was so beautiful. And at this time, she was the second girl that I had ever been sexual with. But at this time, I thought she was mine and I was hers. And when I found out that 2 of my boys who were older than me, because I hung out with guys that were 2 years older than me, so they had already graduated and stuff like that. I was still in school. 3 years older than me, but come to find out, she snuck out the house and she let them both, hunch her. And then I found out that she was messing because we went to different schools, and so I found out that she was messing with guys that she went to school with, and so that heartbreak. I said I'll never experience it again. I'll break hearts because I never wanted to feel that pain again. But the reality of that is that it also caused me to miss out on some great women in my life that didn't deserve that heartache that I gave to them. Now I'm being completely transparent with y'all. It's hashtag I'm gonna say it. Right? So Daybreak 76 is being with one person the whole life seems so long. It does, and it's a commitment that's very hard to keep. And not all people are built to do it. So yeah, you're right on that. Natty said hurt people hurt people. That is so true. That is so true. Hurt people do hurt people. I'm telling you from my experience. And from some of the women that I've hurt, even when we got back together, because of the way I hurt them in the beginning, they never could give themselves to me fully. And they would end up hurting me to get back for me hurting them. And then we just continue playing this game for so many years. So that's my answer to that. That's my answer to that right there, Daybreak.
Based on what she said, once Tupac left prison, he was on a revenge mission, and he wanted to hook up with all of Biggie's girls. Apparently, he knew that Lil' Kim would never budge because she was hella loyal to Biggie. But Faith, on the other hand, Tupac knew that she was the weaker link. So after he got out, he made sure he slept with her, and even called Desiree the next day to tell her all about it.
I got a phone call the next day. He
Ooh,
called me
that
and he's
part,
like, I
Natty.
did it. And I'm like,
That part right there.
what? What you did?
That's a very, very, very fair. You know what? I think we might need to do a live about relationships. But yeah, that's very true. Sometimes you get it to where say there's somebody you was with in the past and you may be currently with someone and the person that you with currently, they don't do the same things that the person you was with does. And so the thing that other person you was with does, You're longing for that. You miss that. You feel more appreciated. You feel more loved. You feel more important. And then you find yourself gravitating back to that old feeling. What's that? What did Biggie say in that song? You want that old thing back, you know? So, uh, true statement, powerfully true statement, Natty. And then she says, Natty says, on the other side, the grass is greener where it's watered and cared for. That that girl, what you say? That part. Princess K says, then leave the person you're with alone. Well, sometimes that's hard to do because it's not you love them, you love them. I know what you're saying. Well, how can you say you love them and you do that to them, which is a valid question. I'm not denying that. Michelle A. Yeah, hey, well, she was with Dre, and then she was with she got a baby with Dre, and then she got a baby with Dr. Dre and a baby with Suge, and they work together. But Princess K, have you ever heard of this before, beloved? Um, how does it go? You and somebody could be the right love at the wrong time. Have you ever heard of that? That's usually where that comes into play, or have a hand in that, and then it goes back like we was just saying. Sometimes what you get from the other person or what you got from the other person, you're not getting from the person you're with. So, and it's not like sometimes it's not it's so and some of it we've already the person we with we've talked to them about it. We tried to reach out and communicate and say, hey, this is what I'm needing, this is what I'm missing, this is what I'm longing for. Can you give me that? And that person that you were like, no, 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 no. You're like, all right, look, I'm not gonna keep asking. I'm gonna go get it where I know I can get it from. Princess K said, we are grown and we decide our actions, no excuses. No excuses given. No excuses given. But I'm just giving you the facts. I'm just being honest with you. You know? Yeah, we all make a decision what we want. But like I just told you, and I'm not saying you this way. Please understand, I'm not saying you this way. But I'm just giving you a scenario. Say you're dating a guy, and he comes to you and he says, "Hey, princess, you know, when we first got together, we used to go out on weekends and have, our time together, and you used to go tanning, you used to get your toes done and your nails done, and you know, you don't do that no more. And then too, I be, princess. Once a month ain't good. Once every 2 months, once every 3 months, that ain't fulfilling my need. Can we? And I'm tired. I don't want to. I'm not saying this. I'm just giving you a scenario. I'm tired. All right, cool. And then months go by, and then the person, hey, I'm in the mood. You like, for real? You woke me up for that? No, I gotta work in the morning. Guess what? Susie down the street ain't gonna tell him no. And they already have a history. Their chemistry is on point. You know. Princess K said, if it's something we can work on, then we work on it. But if there's someone else, the door. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, beloved. What if a person come to you and they're trying to work on it, they're communicating with you, they're telling you what they're longing for, and you still choose not to fulfill what they're longing for? If you don't feed a dog gonna roam. You know what I mean? It's the same with us. In the honeymoon stage, if we giving you all this attention and we're what they call back today courting you, and we showering you with gifts, we doing nice things for you, but then we become complacent after we got you, after we've been in a relationship for a while, and we become complacent and we stop appreciating you. Well, that man in your job that give you a compliment every day, you might be missing that in us, or the dude that you with, you might be missing that from him. That's what he used to do, but now he see you, he there with you, but he see right through you. But when you go to work, this man always taking time to acknowledge you. You understand? And even though you didn't think about cheating on who you with or anything like that, you had a weak moment. Rap God Thanos says, why are we not asking Jada Smith for accountability? Great, great, great question. Moderators, let's pin that one. Natty says, I agree, Thanos, and I love that you said people not blaming one side or the other. No, I'm trying as hard as I can to give both ends of the spectrum, as well as I'm speaking from my own experience. Princess K says, sound like excuses and deflection. I mean, beloved, you're entitled to call it whatever you want. You're entitled to see it however you want, love. Understand. This is not. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not debating. I'm just trying to tell you. Not only from my experience, but also from people that I know what they've experienced. Daybreak says you're explaining it well. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate. I'm trying to be completely honest. And I'm gonna tell. I don't think there's nothing in any facet of a relationship that I haven't done. Be it being guilty or having it done to me. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get here right now to where I didn't get here by not making mistakes, costly mistakes. I just sat here and told you that during my wrestling career, it cost me my first wife, my first marriage. Because before I got with my baby mama, there's these things called ring rats on the road. You understand? No. You still a beloved. You're a queen, Princess K. You said princess, but you're a queen. All ladies are a queen. So, but that's what I mean. Like, we make mistakes and we try to learn from them. Absolutely. This is a healthy. That's why I wanted you to know, Princess K. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not mad at you. I love your questions. I think they're needed. And I want you to know that I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just giving you the real. That's what I built this platform on. That's what I'm gonna continue to do. I can only give it to you in a real manner. I can only be $150 with you. That's all. Adrian says, seems like she's taking it personal. Please don't take it personal. Yvonne 92, good morning to you. Share which link in the bio. I think nobody. I can honestly tell you this. Nobody wants to be hurt, and I can honestly tell you something. It's hard to come to a person that you supposedly love and tell them about that mistake. But why a lot of people don't? It's because they don't want to lose what they have. In a perfect world, everything comes together and works out. But it doesn't always pan out that way. Let's think about that CEO guy that just got caught on the Jumbotron cheating. Now he's lost his job. Pretty sure his wife is about to divorce him. And so it'd be things like that you don't want to face, and you don't want to hurt that person because you love them. But then again, I'm not making excuses. Please, no, I'm not making excuses. But then I don't know the conversations he may or may not have had with his wife. there may have been underlying issues there, and he may have tried to talk to her about it, but she felt like it didn't need to be addressed, or that she didn't do anything wrong, or that she didn't think it was serious. You know, Princess K says in the debate, it's good to have various views. If people just agree with one view, then what kind of debate is that? Facts. That's why I love doing this. That's why I love doing this. Because believe me, sometimes I bring people up in the panel and I don't agree with anything that they're saying. But you'll never know it. Because at the end of the day, they could say something that I never thought about and they could enlighten me. So I'm going to give them my point of view and I'm going to listen to their point of view. We're going to go back and forth a couple of times. But if I see that we're not having any common ground, or if I see that they, standing firm in their POV and I'm standing firm in my POV, respectfully, thank you for coming on. And let's go on. That's fine. And sometimes people have to go through something in order to get what you were saying. I don't wish it on nobody. But sometimes that's what happens. See, a lot of people don't really care for it or understand it until it's, and I'm not saying you're this way, but I'm just saying some people don't really fully grasp the concept of what you're saying until it shows up on their front door. Princess K says, not the comment goons coming for me. Laugh out loud. I don't. I just think they're. I don't think they're coming for you. I think they're just trying to say, hey, I'm not making excuses. I'm giving you like real life things that happen, or real life components that could go into these things that causes them to happen. And that's all they're saying. I don't think anybody. That's not what we. Now understand, if you was being unruly and just like off the cuff, just crashing out, then yeah, we'll probably get on you. But this is just a debate. They're just trying to let you know, hey, look, I've answered your question. Like I have told you different reasons, and you think it's excuses, but it's really legit things that causes these things to happen. And yes, you are right. We all agree with you that a choice is made by us and us only. Even if things aren't right, you don't have to go out. It's our choice to still go out and do things like that, to be unfaithful or anything like or stuff like that. Natty said, just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean it's an attack. Yeah, no one's attacking. No one's attacking. We're having adult conversations here. Remember the disclaimer at the beginning. If you're below the age of 18, or that's what so if you still here, we consider you an adult. And that's just what it is, beloved. There's no attack. There's no attack. And like I said, that was what you did was great. Like I said, I think we may need to have a show based on relationships. And believe me, I've done it before, and not everybody had the same point of view, but it's going to happen because each circumstance is different. Each relationship is different. Each relationship is like a finger. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get back because I know we still got one more segment and y'all are probably like, OMG, he's talking so much. But each relationship is like a fingerprint. Everybody's fingerprint is different. Think about how many people we have in this world, and everybody's fingerprint is different. And so on cue, and I'm not going to say nothing, but on cue, someone just came into the live. And this is somebody that I was in a relationship with over 30 years ago. And to this very day, I love her. To this very day, she still gives me butterflies. This woman gave of her body for me. You understand? Like she carried my seed in her. And I mean, it of course it didn't get to experience life, but at the same, I still respect her. I still love her for even doing that. And nobody, I don't care who I'm married to, I don't care who I'm with, nobody's gonna take that away from me. Now, we have boundaries. Of course, we have respect for each other's significant other. She's with someone, I'm married, so we're not gonna do that. But at the same time, I'm just saying, I'm still gonna love her the same. Like We have a history. Nobody can take that away. Nobody. You get me? So that's it. Yeah, I guess we got off the cuff, and I hope she knows that. Look, there's times now I tell her I love her, and she don't say it back, and I'm like, man, maybe I don't want her to think that I'm. But at the same time, I'm an honest person now, and I love her. I see her name, and my whole, I can't stop smiling. You know what I mean? But so understand that. I hope listen. We'll do a show on relationship. Please note again, you're not attacked by any means. You're not attacked, and yeah, okay. We missed the smiling faces, but sometimes people put smiling faces and they're being sarcastic, so it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, Jenny knows who I'm speaking on, and I've had conversations with Jenny about this particular lady, and I need even now, 30 years later, I need her to know I love her. I will still protect her. Let me not hear from her. Let me feel like something's going on with her. I'm gonna go. But let me tell you something though. I've told my wife who she is, so my wife understands. That's what it was. We have that history. We shared a kid together. I'm gonna love her. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, no disrespect. Princess Casey, that's a nice thought to have for her ex. Yeah, now I'm not gonna say she feel the same way. She probably still want to box my head off the things I put her through. But but I'm just saying, yeah, man, for real spill. All right, look, I'm sorry, y'all. I know I got emotion. Here we go. Supposed to be tough up here. She all making me soft like a piece of cake up here, man. Let's finish up Seg 3.
He's like,
And Faith in her lies.
just left my hotel. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, Faith. And I was like, oh.
Are you drowning in payday loan debt? Have you taken out?
No, we're not. We're good over here.
Okay, great. Got off the phone with him, started throwing up violently. I guess in essence,
My
while
bad,
we sitting
y'all.
talking about it was cool. When he
Seg
actually
3,
did
it should have been Seg 4.
kind of bothered me. But I could say this: that man ain't never lied to me one day in his life. I've never caught him in a lie.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
She doesn't.
He always
Jenny.
kept it real with me.
But
So
I hope she knows she doesn't.
I don't see why he would lie
know.
ever on his dick.
Honey, even Suge Knight said not so long ago that he definitely also heard noises. Of course, it's not possible that all these people were lying, because what would they possibly have to gain by lying about Tupac hooking up
That's
with
what I
Faith?
was
Plus,
saying.
it
They don't
also
even
didn't
like
help
each
that
other.
Tupac doubled down on the allegation when he dropped the knockout diss track Hit 'Em Up, on which he took aim at Big with the scathing opening line saying he hooked up with his wife. And Biggie himself also rapped in a song that if Faith had twins, she'd probably
We just
have
talked
two
about that part.
Pacs. I mean, with all these receipts, how on earth did Faith think anyone would believe that nothing happened between her and Tupac? Girl. Anywho, apparently Kidada Jones also approached Faith Evans to ask her if she hooked up with Tupac. But like I said, she once again denied it. In fact, based on what I've read, Faith didn't think she owed Kidada any explanation because word on the street was that Kidada was not as important to Tupac as how she was trying to portray it. There have actually been 2 reports about why Kidada was not with Pac on the night that Tupac was targeted. One was that Tupac told Kidada to stay back at the hotel because he was trying to keep her out of harm's way, thinking something might go down that night. The other one was that Tupac wanted to go about his business without her around because she wasn't that important. It's also been said that Kidada and Tupac were engaged, but after Pac's death, some of his friends hinted that their relationship was nowhere near close to them being engaged. Well, I personally don't know if Kidada and Tupac were that serious, but if this is what Faith told Kidada when she approached her, that must have hurt big time. I also don't know why she keeps denying that she hooked up with Pac, but what do y'all think could be the reason? Has she been lying for so long that it would just be awkward to tell the truth now? Is it that she doesn't want people to see her as a traitor? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.
My thoughts is I think she's lying, and I don't care. I don't care at this point. Pac's gone. Big is gone. You married his man's. Like, come on. Like, I don't. You said you like hunching young boys, younger boys. So, what are we lying for right now? What are we lying for right now? You see what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. And I apologize because that's Seg 3, but that was supposed to be Seg 4. I didn't have it lined up right. So listen, we're going to go ahead and close out with Seg 4, which should have been Seg 3. Natty said, you ain't got a lot to kick it. That's what I'm saying. You gotta keep it a buck. Man, listen. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to lie back. I'm telling you about one of my exes that's in here, man. You know, I lied. I did some crazy things, man. And I mean, yo, she was, to the best of my knowledge, man, she was rocking with me. She was rock. I mean, you know, I used to have to practice. I used to have to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to football practice. And she would set her alarm to call and wake me up to make sure I made it to football practice. She didn't have to be up, but she did that. You get me? But I wasn't honest with her. And so now that I'm older, you know, I've made those said mistakes that I told y'all about. I don't do that anymore. Listen, I'm just, the way I look at it is I'm closer to the end of my life than I am, you know. So here's how I look at it. I just rather just go ahead and just tell you the truth. And yeah, you may hate me. Yeah, you may be mad at me. But at the end of the day, you don't say, you know what? He kept it a buck with me. Kept it a buck with me. I look at it this way. I've had my son die on me. I've had my mother die in my arms. There's nothing nobody can do that's going to scare me. There's nothing nobody can do that's going to hurt me more than those two things hurt. So I'm just going to tell you. And that's just how I am. I may be an a-hole for it, but it's what it is. I'm stubborn. I'm still stubborn. I've always been stubborn. I'm a Capricorn. I've always been stubborn. And if I don't get if I don't get the response from you that I think I should get, chances are you don't get a second chance. That's just me. It could be you don't have to necessarily do anything wrong. You didn't react like I thought you should have reacted. I didn't get the enthusiasm as I should have got from you. So I'm like, you know what? No. I'll ghost you. I will ghost you so fast. You're like, yo, we good? Yeah, we're good. But just know I ain't effing with you. You know what I mean? Natty said lying takes too much work to me. Yeah, I gotta remember what I told you. People. Pizza cutters, staples, chairs, you know, barbed wire. It's too many concussions from not tucking when I got slammed on it. So I don't remember the lie. So I'm gonna tell on myself anyway. So I might as well just tell you the truth because that's easier to remember. Princess K says, as you should tell them the truth, even if it hurts. Yeah. Jenny says, you either on my team or not. That's it. Period. And I've said this before, and I continuously say it. I've told some of you all in our private messages. Hey, listen. As long as I'm loyal to you until you give me a reason not to be. If you make me or you give me a reason to doubt your loyalty, forget about it. I'm just not going to. Because I don't understand. I know they say the biggest disappointment is expecting ourselves from other people. I get that. I really do. But I expect me from other people. So, like, if I'm loyal to you and I've been there for you, why are you not there for me? How can you say you love me and you care about me, but you ain't there for me? You ain't rocking with me like I'm gonna rock with you. You get me? So if I gotta question your loyalty, man, you can pretty much cancel Christmas on that. I might say hey to you, but I'm gonna keep it moving. You won't be in my circle no more. That's just me. Jenny says, I give my all to my friends and I'll give them my whole heart and expect the same. And that you have proven to me time and time again. And I'm talking about at any hour of the day or night. You've been there. And that's something. How many times do I say thank you for that, Jenny? Like, and she's like, look, that's you don't have to think like this is hey, it's me. But I also feel like how can I not give you your flowers? Because one day I'm not gonna be able to say that. So when I'm not here, I want you to, hey, he appreciated me. Because you don't have you could when I say you, I'm talking about you, Jenny, and I'm talking about in general. People they could give themselves to other people or give their time to other people. But no, we here kicking it. Prince K says, same. If our love and friendship isn't equal, then that's right. That's right, Princess K. Deuces. I'm too old. I'm 40. I'm almost 50 years old. Lord willing, I get to see 50. But, dude, I'm not going to sit here and got to wonder if we friends or not, man. No, forget that. If you can call me and say, hey, G, I got A, B, C, and D going on. I'm going to say, all right, where you at? Or, okay, what you need? If I ain't got it, I'm gonna say, hold on, okay, let me reach out to some people, see if I can get that for you. But if I got it, I'm on the way. I expect the same from you. You can tell me about what happened when I got there. You understand? My wife will tell you, man, I sit here plenty of times, people call, hey, cuz, you got this, you got that. And I'm like, man, yo, if I don't got it and I can't figure out how to get it, man, my mind is racing. And then once I get it taken care of, I'm like, okay, I can relax now. And she'll tell me, baby, I get what you're saying. I know, but you can't do that for everybody. You can't do that for everybody. I woke up out of my sleep one time. I had a bad dream. I said this before on the show. I'll say this and then we're gonna get to say it for. Um, Jenny says, I need you to read your text whenever the show is over, please, and thank you. Got you. Okay. Duly noted. We'll definitely do that. I'll do that, bestie. Daybreak 76 says, I give a little love. I don't trust people like that. Yeah, I used to live that way too. I get where you coming from. It's hard. Daybreak 76 is hard. And I used to live that way, but then I got to a point I'm like, I can't keep uh, convicting people that didn't do anything for other people's crimes. Just because the other person helped me, I can't put that on this person. That's why I say you get a clean slate. But if you make me question you, then that's on you. That you caused that. You see what I'm saying? So then we where we at with that, But I had a dream one night, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But in the event, without going deep into the dream, I woke I woke up punching my wife on her leg, but I really in my dream there was a shadow figure trying to smother her under the cover, and I was punching him. So I'm punching where this shadowy figure was, but of course in real life it was her leg. But it scared her. She woke up. I finally woke up. I found myself swinging, and I just broke down and cried. I said, "Baby, I just want to protect everybody." And I just went in the bathroom and cried by myself. Just cried, cause that's me. That's me. That makes up me. I come from a biological who didn't even want me. I've hurt people. I had people hurt me. You know what I mean? So and now I'm just realizing that compassion, sympathy, just caring for people is like most important. So, and I'm gonna give you. If I love you, I love hard. I love hard. So if I gotta question your love for me in return, I'm already looking at you sideways. And when you make me, if I feel like your love don't match my love, then I feel like you're one of the ones that broke my heart. And not to be not to be mean or rude or anything, but when we get to that point, It's really nothing but vengeance. I don't want you around me. I don't trust what you say. You know. All right. Sorry. We're gonna go on seg 4, and I'm gonna let you all go. I know I done had you for what, 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. All right, maybe longer. All right. So look, segment 4. Segment 4. Jenny says that part. If I start the question, then I'm gonna start distancing myself. Yeah, because I just rather just the way I look at it, Bessie. It's like, and to your point, you're right. I'm like, man, listen. I don't want to feel that heartache no more. Let me go ahead and alleviate myself in this situation right now, man. I already see that I'm fixing it. You know, they about to break my heart. They about to disappoint me, and I really don't want. I don't want to feel that no more. So let me go. You know, and I bounce like a trampoline. Daybreak 76 says my man be talking in his sleep. Hey, his mind racing, man. It's some things on his mind. You know, my wife she looked that up. I forgot what she said it was. I have to look it up again. There was something. It described the shadow figure. I can't. She probably don't remember it neither. But she broke it down to me. But yeah, man, he was trying to kill her. I mean, he's trying to unalive her, and I just was like, nah, man, nah. I'm like that. I'm like that with anybody that I care about. Like I've never even the lady that's in here that I told you my ex, man. Even when we met, man, I was already in a GANG, and so we was always on go. Like even at that young and it being a teenager, you feel invincible. So I never thought about repercussions. I only thought about going and getting that done. You know what I mean? I mean, man, God, just thinking about now. I'm thinking back to some things that happened while her and I was dating, man. Like, and it's like, wow. There was times I scared her, like about to break down her door from being mad at her. You know, man. Like, anyways, man. But listen, I'm that way. I just rather just I just take myself out the situation, you know. Jenny said my son has night tremors. See, and that's the hardest thing to see when your kid has to experience that. Like this because there's nothing you can do to stop that, you know. Jenny says we know the signs, and I'm gonna dip before I get hurt. That part, bestie. We've been through it too many times, so it's like, yo, I'm out. I'm out, man. I'm out like a Boy Scout on a new route. I'm not gonna let you hurt me. I'm not gonna let you take my peace. Cause there was a time I didn't have this. I didn't deal with logics. I didn't deal with rationality. It was just like that. And then I just think about what I done after I did it. And I deal with the consequences that come with it. But now I try to before I even get there, let's go. That's right. Hey, that part right there, Jenny. Jenny said, "Out like a fat kid in dodgeball." That part, out like a deaf kid in musical chairs, man. Like I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hurt like that no more, man. Because now I'm not going. Like I told you before, I think I'm closer to the end. So that just lets me know if you do that, then chances are you're not gonna be in my life anymore. So let's just go ahead and just sever ties and let it be what it be. If I see you, I might say hey. I might not, you know. But that's it. All right. So segment 4 is the last of the day. Put up our fours. Put those fours in there. This is from Culture Covered, and it says Dame Dash knew, and knew is capitalized and emphasized. Dame Dash knew what Camel Face did to DMX. Scared to speak. I don't know. Already has me intrigued. So let's see what we got going on.
Everybody told me Jay was corny and whack. Everybody told me not to with him. And I did it, and look what happened.
I think it's a conspiracy against me, you know, because in the absence of the truth, bullshit will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you know, you can come up with anything.
How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label,
Shout out to DMX. Once again, I told you when we listening to these things and watching these things, I listen because for so many decades we listened and didn't hear, and we're just now realizing we missed stuff that they was telling us. And so when I hear him say he's talking about Camel Face and it says DMX says Camel Face played him and playing an FBI agent. But he just said, so you do the whole, you spend money on the album, you pick the single, and then you shoot a video for it. What you mean you don't know? I see what you do. You're trying to eliminate the competition. That part right there, you're trying to eliminate the competition. This is why I believe, nobody else, it hadn't been proved, I believe Camel Face was in cahoots with Puffy Jacket and Unalive and Notorious B.I.G. eliminating the competition. Because as long as Notorious B.I.G. was alive, Camel Face stood 0 chances in the industry.
Now you back rapping again. Okay.
Dame Dash is back at it again, airing out Jay-Z and his mentor, Layer Cohen. And this time, he's spilling tea about how these two allegedly teamed up to sabotage DMX. So now fans are on Jay's case again, calling him out on his hypocrisy, where he acts like he's all about the culture and elevating black artists, when in fact, he has a long
Jenny
history of cutting his people down to get ahead. And now Dame is pulling back the curtain and dropping more details on how Jay and Layer allegedly took down and sacrificed black artists to climb the ladder, including DMX. But the worst part, DMX saw what they were doing and he spoke up about it. But sadly, no one listened until it was too late.
The industry.
Are you feeling stuck with $10,000 or more in debt and
Can't have DMX talking and then you break into a commercial. How unfair.
Doesn't have to do with talent. It's about playing the game. The industry. Real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in.
So we all know Dame Dash has had a one-sided beef with Jay-Z for years. And while a lot of people have accused Dame of being bitter and obsessed with Hov, if you ask Dame, the problem is much bigger than that. See, Dame has spoken about this many times, but it rarely gets reported on correctly. According to him, the main issue is not just Jay-Z, but the people Jay chose to team up with. People like Layer Cohen. And for Dame, these executives like Cohen make money off black culture, while at the same time pushing an agenda to paint that culture as backwards and dangerous. And DMX was one of the first to notice this and speak on it publicly. Now, to give you some background, when Jay took over as president of Def Jam Records in 2004, replacing Layer Cohen, he gained full control of Rockefeller's catalog and basically pushed Dame and Biggs out. And for Dame, the hardest part wasn't just losing the label. It was seeing Jay Rockefeller's catalog and basically pushed Dame and Biggs out. And for Dame, the hardest part wasn't just losing the label. It was seeing Jay betraying his own people and letting Layer use him like a puppet.
My beef was with Lior because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. You know what I mean? It was like they have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it. Pause. But they don't let their culture feel it.
And one artist Dame felt Jay totally threw under the bus was DMX. Now, of course, Jay never admitted this, and he dismissed it as just DMX being super competitive. After X died, Jay showed up on LeBron James' show, and he claimed there was never any bad blood between them, and X simply loved to compete.
It was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother.
But here's the thing. According to DMX, it was Jay who was always caught up in the competition. See, when Jay became president of Def Jam, DMX was already a huge star with 5 #1 albums to his name. But according to X, once Jay took over, he started getting in his way. X talked about this on The Breakfast Club, and he claimed Jay sabotaged him because he changed his mind about retirement and wanted to clear out the competition before making his big return.
Then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label. Now you're back rapping again. Okay.
But there's more to why DMX didn't trust Jay, and it had a lot to do with Jay's connections to the real shot callers in the industry. See, DMX was very vocal about shady executives like Layer Cohen, and he believed they had way too much power over the artists.
A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry.
Jay-Z, on the other hand, was playing the industry game from day one, and he got real tight with Lair, even calling him his mentor in his book, Decoded. Here's a direct quote from the book. Lair Cohen, who I consider my mentor, once told me something that he was told by a rabbi about the 8 degrees of giving in Judaism. The highest level of giving, the 8th, is giving in a way that makes the receiver self-sufficient. Now, knowing what we do about Jay-Z and Lair and the shady moves they allegedly made to stack their money, it's kind of wild hearing them talk about being all generous and selfless.
Janice
But who
says, I
exactly
feel like
is
he,
Lair Cohen, and what's his
coped with
place
the
in
betrayal
hip-hop? Well, the
with
basics are on his
D-Rug.
Wikipedia. Born
Yeah,
in NYC to
I think
Israeli
so, too.
immigrants,
She's
he's
talking
been a
about DMX.
major power
Think
player
so
in the
as
music
well.
industry, especially in hip-hop, for over 30 years. He started managing rappers at Rush Productions, then moved up at Def Jam, eventually ran Warner Music Group, and after leaving in 2012, launched his own label, 300 Entertainment. More recently, he became YouTube's global head of music. But this is where things started to get shady.
You know, when you stop and think about it, it kind of sounds like how Puffy Jacket got started, in a way, like from the ground up. You know, when you become friends with these select people and you do certain things that these select people want you to do, then you get the proverbial fruits of your labor. See what I'm saying? And when I say labor, I don't mean work. You know what I mean?
Shady. There's this long-running theory that Lair might be some kind of intelligence agency plant using his
Yeah, he over
insider
by
ties
Greenbrier.
to
I know
push
where
a
they
certain
at.
agenda in
They
hip-hop.
in
So
SWAT.
why do people think this? Well, for one, Lair's been caught lying about his background more than once, especially when it comes to his parents and his origins. During his appearance on Vlad TV in October 2023, Lair was asked about his mom, and at first he said she was just a housewife. But later in the same interview, he let it slip that she actually worked for the Israeli government and even helped him land a job at the National
Jimmy says
Bank
you
of
have to be
Israel.
willing to betray others and
Incredible
steal from them
parents,
in order to make it. That part
3
right
other
there,
brothers,
no lies.
and just a loving, happy family. My dad was the head of psychiatry for Kaiser Permanente, and my mother was just a housewife and raising children, and just
Princess
remarkable
K says,
period
why
of
did
my
he come
life.
back to dig
Now, I've
into
always assumed
other
that you were born
artists'
in Israel because you have
ego?
like a slight accent
Yeah,
when you
well,
speak.
yeah, definitely that. And the power, to have the power over these people. It worked for him. Like we stated before, you know, with this line of work, it's really not about talent no more. It's about what you would be willing to give up, what you would be willing to sacrifice, be it a blood sacrifice, be it BOOTY sacrifice.
Have you heard this before?
Yeah, so my parents weren't immigrants because they weren't staying here.
Okay.
So my biological father was coming here just for his education.
No offense,
Oh.
but if you're paying more than $30 a month,
I'm like, no offense to what?
Worked for the Israeli government.
Mhm.
And so when I was born, I went straight back to Israel.
Oh, so you stayed there for a
I
while.
spent my first 3 years in Petach Tikva.
On top of that, Lair's no stranger to controversy,
Jenny
and
says
it's
he was
easy to
planted.
see why Dame Dash has called him
Yeah.
a culture vulture. To give you just one example,
control-
when
yeah.
Lair showed up on the Breakfast
Prince K
Club,
said,
he talked about the opioid
"Same,
crisis
my
and even
ears were
brought up
ready."
DMX,
No
claiming he
offense.
was heartbroken over X's battle with addiction. But when
You feel
Charlamagne
me,
asked
Princess K?
why he keeps signing artists to glorify
me.
substance use, especially during an opioid epidemic, Lair basically said that's how the business works.
Had a real bad drug problem. DMX. I'm so sad. DMX. There's 2 people inside of him, and the Earl
that stutters, man,
is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. You know, I think the opioid problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever.
You know, I don't care what nobody say. Listen to him talk sounds like cover up to me. Sounds like he knows more than what he's saying. Sounds like he's trying to paint a narrative that that him and DMX were closer or cooler than what he's trying than what they really were. That's what it's giving off to me. Jenny says Cohen kept him high in order to get hits and steal from him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Bessie. It sounds like it's a cover up to me. It sounds like he knows a lot more than what he's letting on. And you're trying to do the same because Puffy Jackie did the same thing after Big passed away. That was my brother. It hurts me so bad. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't hurt you bad because you orchestrated it, allegedly.
Faced and been a part of, and I can't fuck with it. The crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay, and I thought that spotlight, head crack, helped, even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly. Man, look, let's cut through all of that. Let's cut through all of that corporate talk thing. Here's what he's saying. Yeah, it's bad that that community or that diverse of people had to endure these things, and it was tearing up their community. But hey, I was making money off of it, so keep it going. On women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be.
Daybreak 76, you heard it, didn't you?
It's the most dangerous.
Jenny says it's the okie doke. Look over here and not listen to what I'm saying. That part, they're trying to get over
society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Good question.
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention.
I was. I heard.
She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
I don't think that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make.
Hey, y'all heard that truth come out? I got people to feed. I got businesses. So if that means stepping on somebody's neck to get what I want to get, then that's what I do. If that means that it costs people their lives, hey, sayonara. As long as my income comes in. Jenny says he wanted them coins and he used his habits to get paid. Princess K says, wow. Yeah, he said the quiet part out loud. I told y'all that stuttering man, I knew he was up to something. There was more to it. He was trying. Yeah, it's hard. Remember how we said it's hard to lie? And that's what he was trying to do. It was hard because he was lying on the fly. He had more to do it. He knew more. I'm saying it. I'm hashtag I'm saying it. I'm gonna say
Dash, take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash?
And get this, when Charlemagne mentioned Dame calling him a culture vulture, Layer got all belligerent and claimed he didn't know who Dame is.
Bro, how in the world can you do business with Camel Face and not know Dame Dash? The lies that these people tell don't even make sense.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of
Come
money.
on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him.
Man, shut the front
I really
door.
don't.
And that ain't what I want to say on here.
Okay, Mariah. But for Dame, this was just confirmation that he was right about Lair all along. Dame clapped back on Instagram, writing, "Thanks for this, Liar Cohen, for proving my point in true culture vulture form. They make money off of us and then try to erase our true history and act like the real ones never existed. He pays his bills at the expense of us." But this next part is where it gets spooky. Dame claims that as soon as he started calling out Lair in public, the police suddenly got involved, which only added more fuel to those rumors about Lair having ties to intelligence.
Man,
It
I was hearing
fitted
too
too,
much
Jenny.
police talk,
Jenny said, "Cap,
and that's that.
fitted,
And I
bestie."
ain't feel like being bothered. So leave me the fuck alone and keep my name out your mouth. You no longer have beef with me. So leave me alone.
Now let's get into how Lair disrespected DMX at his own funeral. DMX's memorial took place in Brooklyn on April 25th, 2021, and Lair didn't even show up. Instead, he sent a video where he talked about how nobody was shocked that DMX allegedly OD'd, and he called X a gremlin who crashed into a wall. Think about this. Lair actually recorded this message to be played at DMX's funeral. It's like he was mocking his death.
What I tell you? Didn't I tell you he was lying? Didn't I tell you he was fabricating? He was trying to make it seem like that him and DMX had a better relationship than what they really had. And I tell you all, a leopard can't change his spots. I told you he was lying. And then what did they just say he did at the funeral? Made a mockery of DMX. Called him a gremlin, said he crashed out. Man, listen.
And this is the guy Jay-Z calls his mentor? No wonder DMX wanted nothing to do with these people. See, unlike Jay, X was one of the loudest voices when it came to exposing all the shady moves in the music business. X even said he was blackballed because he refused to play by the industry's rules and turned down invites to dinner with the executives. And then in his track, The Industry, X exposed how the music business really works and how young talent gets screwed over once they step into the game. Also, let's not forget, DMX said the devil came to him more than once, and he knew it was the devil every time because what was offered sounded good on the surface but came with some weird conditions.
You've had a song on every album, A Conversation with God. Yes. You've had
and a prayer.
And a prayer, and I think you've had
Three conversations with the devil.
Three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was approached, so of course I had a conversation. It doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Say, oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I put out 7 albums, but he's only on 3.
Now, circling back to Dame Dash, people often criticize him for being stuck in the past and always dragging up Jay-Z.
Yes,
and
Jay,
yeah, that's a fair
DMX
point to some degree.
music,
But according to Dame and plenty of others in the industry, a way bigger problem is how most artists are too scared to speak out against Jay. It's like the moment you say something, you're labeled as washed up, bitter, or jealous. And that's exactly what happened to DMX when he tried to share his side. When he went on The Breakfast Club and talked about how Jay sabotaged his album, everyone threw shade at X, calling him bitter and saying Jay was just the better businessman. But now that X is gone, suddenly everybody's ready to admit he was telling the truth. And that's why a lot of fans are now defending Dame and saying that while he may be petty, at least he's not scared to say exactly how he feels about Jay-Z. One fan said, "That's been the running theme when it comes to Dame. Every time someone asks him a question about Jay and he responds, the comments always saying, why is he always talking about Jay?" The Twitter folks are very bad with this as well. They try to make Dame out to be the bad guy. And then someone else added, "I miss DMX. Kept it 100 all the time. Everything he said about these lames in the industry is coming out like a flood that can't be stopped. He would be cooking these weirdos right now. Rest in power, X." But I want to hear what you think. Is Dame going too far, always calling out Jay? Or is it a good thing that someone in the industry is finally bold enough to speak the truth? Drop your thoughts.
Shout out to Dame, man. I mean, you know, he might have his hands in the cook. I don't know. He may have some things that he's done pertaining to this, but at the same time, shout out to him. If he's trying to expose the truth and tell the truth, then shout out to him. But I do get it. I mean, and you just heard them say a lot of people are afraid. So now let's go back again to this trial when people said, why didn't people come forward? Because people that sit in the places or the positions that Puffy Jacket and Camel Face sit in, they know that there's consequences that come with it, and most of the time it's grave consequences. DMX is an example. Angie Stone is an example, and so on and so forth. There's so many others. Pimp C. There's so many others, right? So this is why. This is why, people. Whew, thank you all for rocking with me, man. Like I said, I know it's been like 3 hours, but you all stuck it out. I appreciate it. And here we are coming to a close on today's show. Once again, I apologize that I haven't been doing my lives. I've been very busy. Man, we've been filming, and let me tell you, Jenny. Ooh, Jenny. That episode 8. Girl, listen, the producer did you right. He did. I'm talking about. He did you right. He did you right for you not to be here, and you just had that little small part. That's all I'm gonna say. Your character did his part. You wasn't even cracking for it. You know what I mean? But woo, that was a scene. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Once again, people, if you missed any of the past episodes of Hashtag I'm Gonna Say It, by all means, I cordially invite you to go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel, G Smooth 404. Please click on the folder that says Hashtag I'm Gonna Say It and binge watch all the past episodes. If you so kindly would, leave a message. Hit that thumbs up button and share it out. I appreciate it. Also, here on TikTok or over on YouTube, please subscribe to Hashtag Truth Podcast. It is a podcast that interviews current and former pro wrestlers. My interview is on there as well, so you're more than welcome to go over on there and look at my interview as we talk about some events that took place along my 26-year pro wrestling career. I just brought up Jenny and the situation that happened to her in the hottest web series, Dope Girls. But in order for you to go see that, well, that episode hadn't aired yet, but episodes 1, 2, and 3 is out. Please, I strongly encourage you, go over and subscribe to Tay-Retta Vision Films and watch Dope Girls, your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter and the self-proclaimed and critically acclaimed favorite host on TikTok is a star in the show Dope Girls. I mean, it's good. We're close to already having 1,000 views. You know, and we literally started. The first episode dropped I think July 15th. So we're doing our thing. Go over there and follow. Go over there and subscribe. I think the next episode is coming out July 29th. I think. Don't quote me on that. But you can go over and subscribe, and you'll be notified when it does drop. All right. Once again, I want to give it up for my gifters. I want to give it up to all of you who took the time to rock with me for these 3 hours, almost 3 hours. You could have been anywhere else, but you stayed here and rocked it with me. And last but not least, I want to give it up to my moderators. This is your self-proclaimed favorite news reporter, signing off from the newsroom. Peace and blessings.